Hey, greetings everybody. Welcome to session 5. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully a little more awake than me. I apologize if I yawn during tonight's session. It's just been a long week. Um, wow, I'm off my game. Um, I don't really have any news. I would love to tell you guys something. I do have a little bit of news. We had a meeting with Alternis and all of Mobius last night. So those of you who are playing in this game and want to know when it's coming out as an actual product, that will be in October. It's been pushed back, but there's a plan to do a sort of a full media push and get people into it and have everything properly prepared. The big problem is, of course, that I keep coming up with new content ideas. So I have way more content than we currently have room for. So we'll see how that goes. Um, all right. So we missed a session due to Chupacabra Con and the Lure of Las Vegas. So now that we're here again, let me remind everybody what happened last session. So, our current cast is Aisling Avery and Jack the Scavenger Bird, who now has his own artwork. Everybody thinks it's absolutely adorable. We've also come to the conclusion that Ashlyn did not adapt Jack. Jack just realized if he hung around with this person, he would get nonstop treats, and that was the way to live his life. So, we also have Edgar Patterson, Freya Sullivan, Lamar Merriweather III, and Roland Morris, PhD. That is our current cast. Last session, our heroes had dinner with Jarl Thorkel. He is one of the farming people, and he is effectively the king of the local region, ruling over Ashcam and the surrounding villages, which you heard some names of. He certainly does not come across as a despot. Has the epithet of the ring giver, so he seems to reward people and give gifts and otherwise have a very good relationship with people. You also met his daughter Aldis, who intends to rule in his stead once her father steps down. You learned of a region known as the Monarchy of the Two Queens, ruled by a Queen of the Day and the Queen of the Night, which lies some distance to Sunrise. And apparently there is trade between this monarchy and the region of Ashcam and its surrounds. And you saw from a distance, you didn't really speak to this person, but you saw an individual who's apparently a trader dealing in hide and leather and bone and antler and such, who is one of the scaled people, a new person that you've met, scaled people looking sort of like a humanoid skink. Um, Lamar spoke to the Jarl, much to the consideration of the rest of the players who were just, I think, live in fear of of Lamar speaking to anybody in a place of power. But he did a pretty good job telling him of the giant people around Fearcat. The Jarl offered the service of two as his warriors, as Huskarls, Astrid and Eric, to assist driving them out. He also promised a coat of mail to Lamar if he was able to defeat a giant people in battle, since Lamar really, really wants a cool coat of armor to wear with everything else. In honor of the services done to his people, Thorkill gifted all of you and the entourage that came with you from Fearcat with fine woolen cloaks. Uh, so our heroes and their entourage, which included uh, Dagfeith, Brecca, and Vereen, can also accompanied now by Astrid and Eric. Sorry, guys. I'm having mild head swirlies. So just if I pause, that's why. So when you came back, you found that the rest of the village had discovered a nest of giant people. And so Astrid, Eric, all of you, and about 30 villagers went out to find it. And you had a short battle in which you discovered it was a nest. There was a male, adult female, and their child. And two of the giant people were slain, and then the other one ran off. And you all returned to Fearcat to have a celebration the next day because this was a big deal for everybody. However, early in the morning, before the sun had come up, Freya woke up and told Ashlyn to get everyone else awake. And Lamar, over where he was, awoke as well with a sense of danger threatening. And that is where we left off last session, and we'll start this one. Most of you, not Lamar, I believe, are all in the one storehouse shed gathered together. Lamar is sort of out on his own. And three of you are awake. It is pre-dawn. Dawn will be coming soonish, but it is still fairly dark. It's still rather chill. It's quiet. You are all inside the compound, so you're not sure. None of you, Freya or Lamar, are sure why you're awake or what danger there is, but you all have this foreboding sense that something is wrong. I will state that if everybody's looking at if everybody has access to the Google Drive and new player character sheets, everybody should now start looking at the version 2. I know you've had a time to look at it, but this is what we're going to work with going forward. If you have copied relevant information from your older sheet to version 2, like gear or notes or things like that, we can move the old sheets out. But this is... So some of you may feel more empowered, maybe healthier, stronger, slightly different. Just depends. Some of you may feel that the energies that you've been calling on up until now sporadically seem to be more inherently there. How much you want to play up what you know about what is going on with, by accident or not, that's up to you. But whatever it is, maybe this danger, this threat has awakened your full potential.
Would Freya be able to accidentally tap into her precognition power to see the future, to see what danger is coming? Because technically she doesn't really believe it, and she doesn't really know that she has it, so could she, accidentally get a vision?
Yeah, let me bring that up. All right, so I know you've looked at what this power does, and you have, because now I will note that I've recalculated your resolve. So if you're like, well, I had this much resolve extra from last session, you max out at 8. So Freya, you can have, if you have 2, I don't know how much resolve you had banked, but if you have a bunch banked, you can add 2 to what you have and max out at 8. Let me take a look at that power real quick.
So oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so one of the things I will note is if you really want to have this power kick off the way you're describing, you know what? I'm not seeing how the power works and how it sucks up resolve, and the fact that I think this advances the story. I'm not going to say, oh no, it takes a resolve to do this. I'm going to say yes. Wow, that was good. I apologize to everybody watching at home. Freya, what it is too is that there's something dangerous.
Okay.
You know everybody should get up. You don't know what it is, but you feel a looming threat coming. And so you awaken, you immediately think to wake Ashlyn and tell her to wake everybody else. And as you step back from that, you get a flash of the fields beyond the palisade and the fence. So the croplands that surround Fearcat. and you're not sure what you're seeing. Not knowing exactly what Freya's popular culture consumption is, but probably your mind is something like, this looks like Star Wars. You don't know what these are, but there's a series of wedges, pale in the darkness, pale whitish, with a blue glow under them, floating across the crops.
Okay. How far away, or I guess how far away are they, and how fast are they moving towards us?
You know what? Roll your perception to see if you can pick that out of your vision.
Okay. 4 successes.
Okay. 4 successes. That's pretty good. That pushes you up way up above hard. So they are moving. You're not sure how far away they are. It's hard to reference because it's very dark. You can tell they're coming over the crops because the blue is illuminating them. So you're not sure how far away they are, but they don't seem to be coming all that quickly. They seem to be coming at like a walking pace, and you can tell because you can sort of see the crops passing under them. So they're not blurring by, but they're coming pretty steadily. They're coming. You don't hear any noise, but then you're not sure where they are. But there's 4 of them. You can see 4 of these shapes illuminated, like I said, by this blue glow under them, and they're coming steadily towards you.
Okay. Ashlyn, we need to. Everybody needs to get up with it. There's something coming. There's at least 4 of them.
All right. Ooh, that's not her voice. It's been a while. She'll like poke Edgar. What is wrong with me?
It's been a long week.
I can't talk to you. And she'll like sit up and nudge Edgar with her foot.
Edgar will try. What's happening?
We're in danger. Get up. Something's coming.
Oh, good. All right, and he'll be very startled and wake up suddenly. Danger! What's happening?
I can't. I don't know. I know there's 4 things headed our direction, and it's not safe.
Is it more giant people? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say I also kick Roland awake a little less gentle than I did Edgar.
Wow.
The only way I can think to describe it
Travel's common.
is, and I hate myself for saying this. It reminds me of Star Wars. And I know that doesn't make any sense, and I don't know how I know it, but there's 4 things coming our way, and we're in danger, and we need to prepare or we need to leave right now.
Edgar's gonna get to the door and open the door and step outside. See anything?
All right, let's cut there to Lamar. Lamar, you were out. You had stated that you were staying, I think, outside and not in the warehouse with everybody else. And you have awoken, and everything is quiet. Everything's actually quieter and quiet. Like the night noises that you have slightly become used to are not there. So it's almost cliche, but you realize probably one thing that woke you up is that it is too quiet. Everything has gone silent around you, like the world is holding its breath. And you can hear over where you know your friends are, and that you can hear that door open. And you know that there is something threatening out there.
Lamar is going to kind of snap awake, and he's going to reach for his swords while looking around. Does he see anything?
Give me a perception roll. And please use your, like I said, please use your version 2.
Version 2.
Version 2.
Okay, my perception is 40. I got a 4 and a 6, so yeah, I got 3.
3. You because it is so dim. Anything that's light, and you know that there are there's organic lights out there. You know that there are plants that light up. You know that there are flowers and other things, or biolights that exist. But none of that is anywhere near Fearcat right now. But over there, over to that side of the village, beyond the fence, you can just make out there's a weird blue glow or haze over there in the fields outside of the village.
Alrighty. And you said that the structure I'm sleeping next to, the door swung open?
You heard, basically, you just heard Edgar open the door.
I'm going to, how tall is the building? I'm going to leap up on, I'm trying to leap up onto the rooftop to get like a better vantage.
Let me take a look at something real quick. Yeah. Which building are you trying to leap up on? One of the longhouses, or?
Yeah, the one that's literally the one that Edgar's coming out of.
So you turn and jump, and you leap pretty much in a good arc, very easily. Very anime hero leap. Just, and you come down. Whether you want to do the 3-point stance or not is up to you. But you land, and so Edgar, out of the dark sky, just poof, you see Lamar drop out of nowhere. You don't know where he started from. Now the building isn't that tall. Standing up, you can probably just see over the fence because of the way this is made. You would have a much easier view from the top of one of the longhouses. They're much taller, but you can, because you know where to look, because you're like, where's that blue glow? It was over there. You can sort of make out that there's some objects that have like a weird blue glow around them over there in the outside fields.
If I could see Edgar from my vantage point, like coming out of the door, I'll be like, do you see that? And I'll just kind of like point over in that general direction.
Okay, Edgar, at the moment, due to the height of the fences and the buildings, no, he's pointing at something you can't see.
Yeah, that was scary. Edgar almost falls down because stumbles back into the things like Lamar. All right, wait, what? Lamar just jumped on the roof. What do you see? What do you see?
Some kind of like floating lights out in the distance.
Okay, and Freya, you say we need to go?
Sorry, I have too many places where I can mute myself. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's weird lights and something's coming towards us, and I just have it's just a really bad vibe.
Do we need to get everybody out? Everybody in the village? Do we need to wake them up?
Do I feel like it's that dire, or?
I'm already screaming. Well,
Okay, hold on. I tell you what. We're gonna go into Edge pretty soon, but you're not sure. You only know what you saw. How about Lamar? Why don't you roll that danger sense?
Danger sense? Alrighty.
Wait, what? I have what?
Yes. I just had way more dice. What did I do with them? Oh, they're under here. 6 dice. I got 4.
You feel a strong level of threat, Lamar. So,
yeah.
Freya, you're not sure. Okay. You're like, I don't know. It looked really weird. It looked very Star Wars-y. I don't know what this is. I feel a sense of menace, but I don't know how big of a sense of menace. And then Lamar, because Carlo, you can hear Edgar. Sorry, you can hear Edgar asking, about it, and you feel a level of danger, threatening danger.
Yeah. I think we need to get the people out of here. quickly. This it doesn't feel right.
All right, I'm going to go into.
Yeah.
I am going to go into Edge, mainly because it makes it easier to track what everybody's doing. If this was a D&D game, I might be like, roll initiative, even though we're not actually in a fight, and I'll just use initiative to determine and go around the table that way. So, Lamar, you are at the top of the Edge chart. What do you do?
Is anybody besides our party out wandering about, looking on guard or on watch or anything like that?
No. You know that at night people tend to retreat into, at least in this village, into their longhouses. So everybody is pretty much closed up for the night. There's nobody out but you.
Yeah, I'm gonna look down towards Edgar, and he's gonna like, I'm gonna take the west edge. You guys wake up the right or the left or east. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and then I'm going to leap as far as I can, since I'm pretty quick, towards the nearest longhouse. So I'll be like, "Ah, there's stuff coming."
So Edgar, what you see is Lamar turns and he leaps like a ridiculous distance to one of these longhouses. He leaps probably half the length of a longhouse in a single bound and just drops down. And are you like yelling to get everybody awake?
Yeah, like, there's stuff coming, crazy lights.
Why does he have to be so extra?
I have no idea.
He did have a point. We need to wake people up.
All right, so real quick note when it comes to Edge. What I also double checked was what your Edge was and then what your agility was. So that determines. So some of you were all have similar numbers. This should spread out even more with your next 25-point boost. We'll go into that milestone at a much later date. But our next Edge is, believe it or not, Freya.
Okay. So Freya is still a little weirded out about what's going on, and she's kind of freaking out that there's some kind of weird UFO Star Wars danger coming towards her. She is gonna go along the other side and start waking people up to try to get them to safety. So yeah, she's gonna be like knocking on doors. Hey, you need to get up. You need to move. Something's coming. Get to safety.
Okay. So Freya, you run off, and you are doing just that. There's no real doors. I mean, there are some doors, but with the longhouses, you can just sort of burst in and yell the length of a longhouse. Yeah, the one the one thing that you will notice is that, interestingly enough, you can see slightly better, even though in pitch black, than you thought. You can't see in the dark, but you seem to be a little bit more aware of where things are. Okay. Sort of explaining how, some of your new dice there.
Okay.
All right. Next Edge is Ashlyn.
Yes. I would like to... They're waking people up, so I'm going to try and start getting some semblance of order done. She's basically going to be rounding up people, and, well, if nobody else is taking charge, she's going to...
Okay.
So, non-combatants here, if you've got a weapon, get it.
Yeah, people are going to start spilling out of the longhouses and such. And since you've announced that it's danger, they are carrying, some of them are carrying whatever weaponry or gear. Brecca, Vareen, Astrid, and Eric are attempting to dress as quickly as possible. I can tell you that because they all wear like mail coats, they can do it pretty quickly. It's a good thing they're not in plate armor. That would take significantly longer. But they're trying to get their armor on. It's sort of like putting on a long nightgown. Just you kind of bend over and stand up, and it falls down around you. And they're getting their gear together as quickly as they can. Everybody else is basically doing the same thing with the giant people, maybe hunting bows or boar spears or a wood axe or that kind of item. Also, Ashling, when the time comes, I will explain, or you will be happy to know that 2 of your new abilities affect everybody,
I saw that.
not just the player characters. I checked. They affect allies as well. So you can use that on Brecavarine, Eric, and Astrid. Edgar.
Edgar's gonna grab his stuff quickly, and he's not sure if everyone's awake yet, so he is going to construct up a bell, like a large bell and ringer, to kind of bang on the noise to make sure that that sound it can be heard across the village. That is what he's going to do.
All right, so you know what? You have this power. Let's freaking roll it, man.
I've been practicing with it since last time.
And here's the way I envision it is that you're thinking, I could really use a bell right now, and then there is one in front of you. So roll all those dice.
All right.
I will note that I tried to write in little notes that explain the rationale behind the powers.
5 successes.
5 successes. Okay. So all of you in the village hear this booming bell ringing coming from where the little storeroom where you all have been staying, and it's donging away like an alarm bell. Lamar, it actually sounds to you kind of like the fire alarm bell that you would expect in a Japanese village. The rest of you, it may sound like a ringing church bell or such, but it's got that deep tone to it. 5 successes, yeah. Okay. Oh, wait, that's Roland. That's not you. Sorry. Roland.
Awesome.
You are now definitely awake because you just saw Edgar put his hands out and form this bell that just started ringing, and you are awake now.
Well, we're at a disadvantage as far as Roland can tell, because the enemy is attacking at night and they're in the sky. So what he's going to do is he's going to pick up his Gandalf staff in one hand, and he's got the flare gun in the other, and he's going to tap the staff to the flare gun, point it in the air, and yell at the top of his lungs, "Good morning, Vietnam," and pull the trigger. I'm going to use my sorcery power to duplicate the light/effect to create a sun way up in the sky.
Okay. I love it.
Because if they can see us and we can't see them, we're at a disadvantage. So everybody gets to hear him make a movie quote when he casts magic. Hooray.
Roland, I note that I note that your version 2 character sheet, you had some things we can get that cleaned up by next session. So I'm going to go with whatever you say, and then we'll get it properly edited.
Yeah, I got 4 successes, by the way.
Don't have to roll it. You don't have to roll it. You are duplicating a power that you just have to devote. Okay, so let's also be very clear on how your power works. You have spent 3 dice to simulate light and effect. Everything else is awesome. It just explains your cons that bring the overall cost down slightly. So you fire the flare, and you now are getting light over basically an area, which is the village, which means nobody has any light penalties now. Oomph. And so for the duration of this sequence, you're going to have basically the equivalent of a parachute flare that doesn't descend. Now, this also means, though, that you have now this will stay up there for a time. I'm going to let it stay up there, but you only have 4 more dice to do anything else with, and then if you do something else, it's going to keep dropping by 1. Omnipower is a bit wonky, but once you get used to it, it'll work pretty well.
Okay. I thought I still had to roll to activate it.
Nope, because it just does.
Awesome. Never mind then. Yeah.
Right. Now, granted, when it comes to attack and defense powers, you have to roll, but this is just a standard effect power. You just have to devote 3 dice to it because that's how many points light is.
Right.
I have another player with Omnipower in another game, so we've actually done a dive to make sure we fully understand it. All right, we got that. Okay, so that is the end of the first page. I want to let you all know before the fighting starts, because big surprise, Astrid and Eric are on their own edge, Breck and Vereen on their own edge, and I may ask you to roll for them because they're your allies, and they work as super mooks and secondary mooks, and all the other villagers will be minions. And I know we may have done this before, but basically, Astrid and Eric have a what they're good at die pool and what they're not good at, and they have edge and health. Breck and Vereen have the same thing. So I may ask you what they do, and I'll keep track of their health here, but I'll ask you to roll for them. And that is the end of the page. You can't hear anything over the ringing of the bell. But things are happening outside. The bell will ring basically until Edgar's next edge comes up, and then if he does something else, that bell will go away. Edgar, also note that your bell or your constructs are somewhat like an Omnipower, because you're constantly changing them around. All right, so now we're to our second page, and that was a real dumb thing for me to do. I found if I turn my head too fast, I can instigate vertigo. Not a good plan. Lamar, you are at the top of the page again. And a quick side note, I know I've said this before, if you really want to go before Lamar, you can spend a resolve to jump the order. We are not going to play climbing the ladder games. If somebody does it, that's it. I can also do it. I have adversity. I actually have quite a bit of adversity because this is a more significant action sequence than last time. But Lamar, you are at the top of the edge chart.
Alrighty. So I see people milling about, arming themselves and whatnot.
Yep.
Are the lights, the light ships or whatnot? Are they any closer or anything like that?
Oh, they are definitely coming closer.
Okay. I would like to move as fast as I can and try to get towards the front of where they're coming, so I can meet them if things pop off. Now that everybody's up, now I'm just trying to defend people as best I can. So that's what I'm trying to do.
So you have 2 options here. Well, option 1 would be to leap and take another action, or you can take 2 leaps, 2 movement actions, I would say. 2 movement actions would get you to one of the fences or to one of the watchtowers to see over. Because remember, you're leaping roughly 50 feet at a time, but the longhouses are roughly 100 feet long. So, so it's you are moving about this village, you're just super balling around. So now, if you do take 2 actions, you can still defend yourself because you have not eliminated your ability to defend, but there's nobody to attack either. So if you really want to get to where the fence is, I would say it would take 2 leaps.
I will totally do that. I will get my Mario double jump on.
So what you also see, I'm not going to roll for it because I get things rolling here. When you leap, you're doing sort of long jumps, just standing jumps, because I'm pretty positive in your mind, Lamar would move just like your average anime ninja.
Yeah.
So no running start, just. And at the arc, you can see clearly over the fence, and it looks like Star Wars comes to you. You see 4 wedge-shaped objects that look to be on a blue glow hovering, coming, and they're accelerating. They're coming much faster because you're not sure how, but they seem to be speeding up, and you can see 4 of them, and they seem to be full of figures, and then you're dropping down and coming up again. And of course there's
lasers. He's coming down.
and there's bells ringing in the background, or a bell. Okay, Freya. You have people waking up, you have people getting dressed, you have people getting things together. You can hear Ashlyn trying to organize the chaos and expressing and throwing orders around. And even though she's not a village elder, she has shown, she's shown some wonder worker abilities, and she's also taking charge in the middle of a crisis, so people are listening to her. And there's a ringing bell, and then light. Everything just lit up.
What is going on? Okay. Once she makes sure that Ashlyn is okay, and she sees that Ashlyn is kind of trying to take charge, Freya's gonna. She always has her. She never leaves without grabbing her camera, so she has her camera around her neck. The bell's going off, the lights are up, people are waking up, so she's gonna try to put herself in a position where she can use the long lens on her camera to try to get a better look at what's coming.
All right. At the moment, if you're down on ground level, you can see the long houses. You can see all the other buildings, the stables, the chicken coops, the carpentry and such, and the fence. You can see and actually disappearing, but he's leaping big arcs to the air. You see Lamar disappearing behind the long houses over by the fence over to that side. Of course, it's dark. You kind of have the layout, so you're like, okay, wait a minute, sunrise, sunset. Okay, so it's over there. So he's over that way. You can't really see anything clearly because, once again, there's like there's that protective wall or earth. But yeah, you can be set up to take a look and see what's coming.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to do that. That way I can warn people when they start getting close.
Right. Now, you can hold your action if you wish, or you could say, if all else fails, I'm going to go full defense or something. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to hold my action.
All right. I am... What's your trigger? I think you have to declare what you're holding for.
Say something like nails on the chalkboard.
The enemies becoming visible. Sounds like a good one.
If you said if the enemies become invisible.
No, if they become visible.
I was like,
sorry.
I didn't even think about them being invisible. What? Yeah. If as soon as the enemy is visible to me, that will be my trigger to do something. Do I have to say what I want to do when that happens? Because I'm not sure yet.
I don't know, because I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember exact. I have too many different game systems in my head, so I'm saying that's good enough.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
All right, Lamar, you come leaping down, and you hear over the bell some faint noises, and then there is a sound. There is a sound that can be that you hear in between the pealing of the bell, which is this weird, crump noise. And you, as you come down next to the fence, you realize passing overhead are blue-white flashes And of course, you've heard Star Wars, so you're like, that looks, reminds you of the special effects of energy weapons from Star Wars flashing over the fence and over the top of the village.
Like, I knew it, lasers. Uh, is anybody nearby, like from the group?
Not yet.
Okay.
And so let me also. Holy crap. Hmm. Lamar, hold on a second.
Okay.
Right, so I have to take that out. Lamar, why don't you give me your best defense against a ranged attack?
I'm a you strike. Haha.
That is. Wait, hold on. Let me check something here.
Says deflect missiles.
Yes, this is not a missile.
Okay. Well,
Because
then.
okay, realize that deflect missiles.
Okay. Then I'll
Yeah.
use a
Missiles, it's things like arrows, darts, rocks, spears.
cool beans. All right. Well, then I will use evasion.
All right, give me your evasion, please.
Okay, so I'll get 8 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits.
All right, wow, that is wonderfully perfect for the result. So several of these bolts go overhead, and then you basically at the last moment duck out of the way as one of these bolts punches a hole through the fence next to you, and you can see like wood splinter and shatter and things, and you can hear faintly a voice, kind of a deepish voice. You can't understand. You don't get words, but you can get like the impression of bellowed commands. All right. Ashlyn,
Assuming, good.
yeah, you've got light in the sky. You've got a bell going off. You may or may not have seen Lamar, and then you can see flashing overhead these kind of blue-white streaks that may remind you of like movie special effects. They certainly are shooting stars or something, but they're kind of brilliant blue-white bolts go flashing way overhead at this point from where you are.
Mm-hmm. Assuming everybody is like moving and don't need direct instruction anymore. I don't know if they did in the first place. But Ashlyn's, do I do that now or wait? She wants to find the highest vantage point she can get to. She's not as crazy as Lamar, so it might not be very much.
The highest vantage point where you are would be to climb up on top of one of the longhouses.
Perfect.
Which
Nice.
give me your agility. Make an agility
Just
roll,
agility?
please.
Well, all right. Oh, go me. 2 successes.
All right, well, that's good enough. So you're able to scramble up there, and you have a pretty good vantage of the village. I mean, there's 4 of these arranged in an X, but you can sort of see where Lamar has jumped over to. You've got this hanging sun in the sky, not burning and such, and you've got a pretty good view of the entire area.
But can I see the people shooting at us? or the beings shooting at us.
Give me a perception roll. No minuses. Everything's kind of lit up.
Three successes.
You see 4 vehicles. They're definitely vehicles. They're getting closer and closer. They're weird though. Freya's Star Wars comes, exactly to mind. They have this land speeder, hovercraft, grav sled look to them. They kind of look like a little bit like a super yacht. They're kind of white. They have some sort of upper structure and a lower structure. They're filled with people. And you realize that there are 4 individuals in the bow of these things who apparently are firing some sort of handgun. And everything is white. The vehicles, the figures, and in fact, that Star Wars comment kind of makes you think that they're full of stormtroopers.
Hmm. How far away would you say they are?
Oh, a couple of 100 feet, considering each longhouse is about 100 feet long.
Okay. Ashlyn's going to reach into her bag
Okay.
and pull out a hunting rifle.
A hunting rifle.
A hunting rifle.
All right.
She doesn't have a brother, so she's who her uncle took hunting. This is the rifle that she always used.
All right. Let me take a real quick look at something here. What I'm going to say is you have 2 options. Is this like a scoped rifle or just a standard hunting rifle?
I don't think it would be scoped. No, it's just the.
All right. So what you now have is a 2-handed weapon, which means you're gonna have to put your bag down or sling it over your shoulder. That gives you +3 dice to your agility to make a ranged attack.
Yeah, it's a bolt action rifle.
Okay. Don't worry, little brother. There are more.
And
okay.
Is it too much to
Edgar.
ask to try and knock one off? Yeah.
All right. Well, climbing up there and pulling something out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Those are your actions.
Yeah, fair.
Edgar.
Edgar is going to drop the bell, or dispel the construct, and then make really crude block stairs to run up on top of a longhouse. Also,
Okay.
but towards the other side. So like there's non-combatants here, and so what he's looking for is, are they like gathering somewhere or going somewhere, like running in the opposite direction? Like the people who aren't coming out to fight and defend, what are they doing? And because what he wants to see is like the other side, was it forest? Because this is coming from like the fields. What was on the other side?
You're surrounded on all sides by cropland.
All the fields. Okay. Are there other enemy people attacking from the other side as well, or no?
Nope. It's just
Okay, so then he's going to yell, get to the other side to the people who are non-combatants.
So now, also the nice thing is the village has 4 gates because of the way it's laid out. It's quartered. So everybody who is, as you point, everybody who's a non-combatant is starting to stream in the opposite direction of where Lamar went, of where Ashlyn is pointing, and then in the direction you are pointing. So yeah, you've got that division going, and then you have those who feel that, or those who are going to defend the village, are kind of grouping together and arming up. Fortunately, people, they hadn't gotten around to putting away everything from fighting giant people, so a lot of that was readily at hand. All right, so that's what you do. At this point, because we're kind of also, remember, each page is an indeterminate amount of time. But Astrid and Eric come running in full gear. They're armored. They've got shields. They've got their swords and belts on. They've got a spear, the helmet slapped on their head. They're running over to where Lamar is, and that's their action. And Roland.
I can't see the enemy yet, right?
Nope.
Okay. Everybody's getting on the longhouses.
Our convenient stairs right there.
That's fair. There are convenient stairs, so I'm going to climb some convenient stairs.
Okay.
All right. I'm assuming I still can't see them.
Give me a perception roll.
All right. Perception it is.
Also, I am not going to make you divert 3 points to keep the light going. That's just going to stay up there. So you have your full Omni power for whatever you're doing next.
I got 2 successes.
Well, first of all, they're big. These things are, the size of a small boat. They're like 25, 30 feet long. They're white, so the light helps stand out. You can see 4 of them, and also they're rising in the air. So they're starting to reach the point where they're going to crest over the top of the fence and get inside the village.
Awesome. All right, so
they have, and once again, because it was stated, they have this sort of Star Wars-ish combined a little with the Star Trek reboot of J.J. Abrams, that white, clear, like, and they have this weird look of, like I said, like a super yacht, because there's literally, there's a upper structure, and it's all sort of weird streamlining, and it appears to be packed with stormtroopers.
Awesome. So one of them is probably in the lead, right?
Actually, no. They're kind of in an arc, coming in almost all at the same time.
All right. Well, the one that's in the lead, the one that's like, if they're coming in an arc, like a sort of like a V shape, right? But without a lead.
The one closest to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what he's gonna do is he's going to lift up his staff, point it in the direction, and he's going to yell, "Taste my lightning, suckers!" And he's going to shoot lightning from his staff.
All right.
Hooray, quoting more movies. That one comes from Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
All right. So what are you casting lightning at?
One of the vehicles. So
one of the vehicles?
Yes, the actual vehicle itself.
All right. So just to be clear, I am going to roll the vehicle's body against your attack.
Right. I'm using the blast power, by the way.
Okay.
I got 6 successes.
I have 6 successes.
Darn.
Well, you can spend a resolve to roll an additional die if you wish. I would not re-roll. 6 successes on your dice that's pretty dang good. Or are you just gonna stick with it?
So this is his opening volley. I'll use a resolve to get an extra die.
Okay.
I'll take the risk on it, see if I can get something good.
All right.
2 more.
2 more?
Yes.
You got an 8. You got an 8. All right. I am going to spend an adversity. You've now made me spend an adversity.
Right.
And I'm going to roll a die as well.
I call it a win.
I got a 2 as well. 8 and 8.
No. All right. I'm not going to spend any more resolve. I don't have that much.
All right. Oh, this is dead. But actually, here's the important thing. You guys can get resolve back. I do not. And I think things. Well, we'll see. But yeah, the important thing is you made me burn an adversity. So what you do see, though, is lightning, and Astrid, Eric, and Lamar see this. A bolt of lightning, actually everybody you can see, but a bolt of lightning arcs or jets from where Edgar is Roland is pointing his staff and hits the front of one of these vehicles, and you see it sort of surround it with shocks and little crawling worms of electricity, but it keeps coming on pretty implacably. Astrid and Eric are pretty much there, but there's not much they can do because they can't really have an enemy. It's up above their head at the moment. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Roland just went, so they already went. So Breck and Vereen are now running over to where Astrid, Eric, and Lamar are. You're getting a little posse together there of fellow warriors. All right. At this point, Lamar, you, Brecca, Vereen, Astrid, and Eric look up, and you see 4 wedges. I would say they look like an old steam iron from underneath, or maybe they look like a spear blade or an arrowhead. And they have this weird blue glow because you can see sort of Star Trek-y, Star Wars-y, science fiction-y something underneath these 4 hovering vehicles very quietly. I mean, there's a hum and such, but they move up overhead of where you are. And you clearly hear a voice bellow out, "Find the Outlanders! Capture the Outlanders!" And there is a is not a barrage of fire. I just double checked what I have listed here. And the vehicles come drifting over and they start dropping down wherever there's empty space. And you see a bunch of delayed troops. You see stormtroopers. I mean, that's probably the first thing you think when you see these guys. They have white armor, they have white helmets, they are carrying long pole-like weapons or shorter sticks that have also have this crackling blue glow around them. You see some kind of bigger ones and full face helmets and visors and bearing weapons. You can tell that there's a pilot on each of these, and these troops are spreading out. Lamar, why don't you give me a quick roll there?
Okay. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to roll?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. I meant to say perception.
All right. So, I got a 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're just aware of a mass of people in white armor, and a group of them are actually sort of aware of you, and they're coming your way.
I'm going to tentatively draw both swords, and then I'm going to be like, he's going to kind of crack a nervous smile and be like, "These are not the droids you're looking for." Like as he pulls them out.
Right. Yeah, you are allowed your best defense here. So I'm going to say whipping out your swords will let you defend yourself appropriately. So just to be clear, especially for anybody watching at home, Lamar, you are going to be fighting some minions. And you are fighting a group. Yeah. You basically have a group peel off towards you, and what you see is there's a couple of these with these long I'm going to say I'll call them like lance things, and then a couple of them with these shorter, and they're all sort of crackling and snapping with this blue light, and what they're trying to do is surround you and effectively, to be very blunt, beat you down.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is roll their total attack value, and you pick your best defense.
Sounds good. Does strike work on melee weapons?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yes.
I'll use strike.
So let me point something out there. Let me make sure you're just to be clear.
Okay.
If you take a look, you have a strike power, and then because gear adds, you want to add your
Oh, additional 2 dice for the sword.
you roll it. Yes, you're rolling an additional 2 dice.
Okay. Well, I only brought 8 dice because I'm a fool, so I'll just.
Just to be clear, to everybody, we have jumped up the dice cap. It was 6, now 8, but you can go up to 11 because of the way gear works, so that you can have super swordsmen like Lamar.
Oh yeah. So I got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 so far, and then 2 dice. 7. 7 hits.
Because my dice hate me, I'm gonna roll I'm gonna burn an adversity and re-roll all of this. Are you kidding me?
No, super serious.
You got a 7, right?
Yes, sir.
I got a 7. I am going to burn 1 more adversity and roll 1 more die.
Sounds good.
Okay, I got a 9.
Can I don't know how far away I am or if I'm allowed to do this, but part of my precog says that I can spend a resolve to negate something that just happened. So can I do that?
You can, but let's see if Lamar wants it. Like, he can tank it. Now, granted, you can undo it if you want, but Lamar, do you want to do anything to avoid it, or are you going to take 2 health in electroshock therapy?
I guess I'll get that. Like, I don't have anything. I mean, I could use luck, but I need to roll a 6 to tie you, so it doesn't seem worth it to use it right now. So yeah, I guess my best option is to tank it. Yeah.
All right. So, what's gonna happen now? By the way, when I took a look at Freya and Ashlyn, and we're like, wow, okay, but Freya has the pull their ass out of the fire power. So what you hear, Freya, is you hear Lamar. You see these vehicles land, and you can see, I mean, down the different the streets and open areas, you can see what to your 21st century culture mind is stormtroopers, and you hear quite clearly Lamar just scream as he takes 2 health of stun damage, in pain as he is zapped quite clearly. And yes, you can spend a resolve.
I would like to do that. I would like to spend the resolve and make that not happen.
All right, let me just double check. Sorry.
I don't actually know if it works that way, so please tell me if I'm misreading that.
I mean,
But what it does is, see, it says in combat, this erases a character's turn and let you skip your normal place in the action sequence and immediately take your next turn to act before they repeat theirs.
Okay.
So what you're doing, well, I think Len would be more than happy to let me be a little more flexible with this, because what you're doing is you're basically saying, okay, no, they don't do what they're doing, but in fact, you can't. I mean, I could say, well, what do you do because you were delayed? So there's 2 options, one of which you move now because you were delayed earlier, because you rewind time, because basically you saw a bad outcome and you're like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and I like rewind it so that it doesn't happen.
Right. And so in fact, what Lamar never was actually attacked. You saw a possible future and you're like, that's not a good future.
Are
Yeah.
you
So what-
nexting us right now? That's amazing.
So what would Freya do in place or before they go again?
So have they even come down yet, or have I
They
gotten?
had, yeah. You are responding to the scream of pain, so you're kind of like
Okay.
unwinding that action.
Okay. So if I unwind that, would I be able to maybe attack the one that dealt the damage from behind?
You would have to kind of run over there, and what would you attack with?
My fists?
You could try. You could, oh, we lost somebody. Unfortunately, I don't think you're close enough to actually get over there to
Okay.
do that.
So instead,
will-
would I be able to yell to Lamar that he's about to be attacked to make him
Oh, yeah.
aware to move?
Either to, well, he's already moved, but he could abort his next page to go full defensive, if you really wanted. And I wouldn't bother to roll. I would just say, at this point, you would roll another 2 dice if you wish, but you wouldn't get that attack. So
That's
I tell you what, though, just to be fair, in effect, because I don't want to complicate this, and I want the power to be useful, because this is expecting you to have significantly more additional powers along with this one. You basically rewind that event, and to simplify matters, Lamar, you barely stop the attack. So what I'm going to say is you negate. Actually, that's what you're doing. You're negating my extra adversity that I spent. I don't get it back, but you're going to negate that, so it's a tie. So Lamar, you don't take any damage.
Fantastic. So, like, what does Lamar see? Like, is he aware that Freya did some kind of mumbo jumbo? Okay.
Now, what Lamar sees is everything that happened, but that one in my adversity was basically one of these guys lunging forward just one last step and tagging you in the side with this THX113H shock stick, and her rewind. You basically that guy doesn't get that off. You've successfully blocked all this incoming strikes and everything, and you're now staring face to face with a bunch of guys that look like this. If I can.
And it was all me, no help whatsoever. I got it.
That's right. Good job.
All right, so you're dealing with a bunch of guys that kind of look like that.
Wow.
I may be able to do a better job these days. I don't know. Hero Forge has got all sorts of fun new stuff. All right, so that is the end of and just to be fair, Freya, I'm kind of in like, let's go with the spirit, not always the letter. And I think the spirit just, let's go with oh no, that didn't happen. And yes, if that is the movie I think it is, somebody had a power like this. I like the idea that you kind of replay things and go, that's the future that we want to go for.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. So I will also note in a moment, you guys all may get more dice. I don't know. It depends on what certain other characters do. I can't find my edge chart. I need a third monitor. I don't know where to put it. All right. Also, just to make sure everybody's aware, minions, which include and vehicles, go at the bottom. So now we go up back to the top. Lamar, you have these guys in front of you.
So after parrying and barely dodging the attacks, he is going to go full anime and then like do like as a swordsman, he knows he should never just do a random spin, but he's gonna go hard AF, and then he is going to do like a whirlwind attack with both swords out, like trying to hit everybody, hit everybody at the same time. That's impossible.
All right. So the nice thing is, You attack their threat level. You don't attack their attack value, so which is significantly less. The other thing, if you have any resolve left over, if you need to, you can activate your two-fisted, which will defeat 2 minions for every success as opposed to 1.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I shall do. So
Well-
I'll use strike.
You're going to use strike. You're going to roll your 10 dice versus mine.
After the break, I'll grab some more dice. But yeah, here's 8. Okay, here. I'm gonna turn my blur off so you can see this roll, so you can tell. You can tell I'm not BSing this. Here, look at this.
See what?
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I still need to roll 2 more. 10 hits.
How many 6s was that?
1, 2, 3 6s. So I rolled it. I was like, all right, they're not gonna believe this craziness. So here, let me show you guys.
You know what? I'm not even going to bother to re-roll. I've got a really bad roll, but there's no point. It's not even being close. And don't worry about your two-fisted. You just defeated. Your whirlwind attack works against all logic and odds. Basically, Breck and Vereen are like cheering because Wonder Worker in battle, and Astrid and Eric are basically, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. But it doesn't matter. You blur your way into this, and the 5 Gator troopers that were opposing you are now all on the ground. We can worry about in what state later. You have that decision. But yeah, you just destroyed this little combat squad, and they're all kind of you're just surrounded by unmoving enemies.
He kind of like, he's in total shock that actually works. Like, he knew it would, but like he also like was certain it wouldn't. Like, you know that feel. So he's kind of like, okay. Like I did.
All right.
I did that, right?
Yeah. Now, Freya, I will note, because you had basically delayed, or you can use your precog the way you did. So, if you want to delay and just use it if something bad happens to somebody, that would work perfect. That'd be perfectly acceptable by me. It depends on what you want to do.
What do I see around me right now?
Looking, so you are as where did you're on the ground, and you were near the building.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on a quick moment.
Yeah, I basically just kind of want to know where all of my people are and if they're in danger at the moment.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to drop this picture into the chat, and I'm going to open it up on my end. So effectively, all of you are by the 3 buildings at the top right of this image.
Okay.
And where it says fence and earthen wall at the bottom right is at the bottom right is where the ships are. So Lamar and company are pretty much where the word fence is, and there are vehicles landing in the open space either side of that longhouse. Ashlyn is on top of the longhouse on the left, and Roland and Edgar are on top of the longhouse on the right, and you are, we'll say you're by, you see the 3 buildings, you're by the corner of the bottom one. So looking straight down the street, you can see the carpentry shop, and you can see one of these vehicles like in the road there. The other ones are arrayed over behind the longhouse and out of sight where the smithy is, at least for you, Freya.
Okay.
So you can see one of these things.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold my action and wait to see if one of my people gets in trouble again, and then I will do my thing to help them.
Okay. All right. Okay, now let me actually take a look at this. So, Freya, what you can see, and maybe Ash, well, Freya, I'm going to say Freya, what you can see, the vehicle that you can see that landed, and now you can definitely see it's hovering. There's a blue glow around underneath of it. It's kind of streamlined. It has this weird upper structure. It's full of people that are just bailing out, and so you've got that weird Star Wars vibe from like Rogue One, and you can see out in, I'm looking at the map, that's why I'm not looking at you guys. You can see out in front, the light glints off one of these that has like a visor, so you also get this weird Cobra Commander kind of vibe if you're really old school G.I. Joe. And this individual has you can see, has a sword in one hand and a pistol in the other, and is pointing, and you faintly can hear, because like I said, remember these long houses are about 100 feet long, so you're maybe 150 feet. This guy's he's half a football field away, but you can still hear him in a sort of commander's voice yelling, "Find the Outlanders! Capture the Outlanders!" And these troopers are moving out, and they're carrying what look like long spears, but they have this sort of bluish crackling from them. All right, so that's that one. So Lamar, you have, like I said, you have Brecca Vereen, Eric, and Astrid around you. But what you see is one of these individuals kind of looks at where you just destroyed 5 troopers, and he comes striding towards you, and you see him put something on his hip. You think he's holstering a gun, and he draws a sword and comes, and he looks at you and bellows, "No mammal shall defeat me and my blade."
All right, bring it, you specious F word.
All right, so he's gonna cross sword. He's gonna cross swords with you. Ooh. All right, so you're going to want to use your best defense for this, which is going to be your strike.
Alrighty.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
You're using a sword in each hand, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So because of two-fisted, you actually get to top out at the dice cap. You get to roll 11 dice.
Let me get more dice.
Yeah, let's be fair.
I actually really enjoy.
Lamar is your combat machine. He was incredibly cheap to write up. But to be fair, you guys, some of you have a stupid amount of flexibility.
Yeah, I'm aware I do.
I fight stuff and get hit in the face. That's what he does. So got that's not as impressive. I got 4.
You got a 4?
I got a 4 out of 11.
Wow. I got 7.
Well, I
So
would
that's
like to help him out.
That's going to be 3 health to you unless something happens.
Oh, goddamn, I scrolled away from that power. Where is it? Right. Can I see him from where I'm at?
Where you are? Yes.
Oh, good, because I'm going to give him a little advice in this fight so he don't get himself skewered.
Okay.
And it's
Now,
my leadership.
Right. Now, leadership can be done at any time. So would you yell out anything in particular?
It probably boils down to don't be stupid and play it safe.
I'm
Like,
surprised
focus
it's
is
not an
more on
anime.
defense.
I'm surprised she's not doing like an anime quote that's like some sort of weird sensei statement. Like,
Oh, it probably is. It almost certainly is. I'm just not that well versed in anime as she is.
trying to think of a good one.
We had a player whose leadership, basically because they couldn't think of something awesome every time, was just do better. All right. So Lamar,
Ah, I got a
this
good
is
one.
this is what this means for you, and I'm gonna ask Ashlyn to track this.
Mhm.
You have used your leadership on Lamar. Lamar, you get a free reroll.
Oh, I get to reroll all of them or any number of dice.
All of them.
You get reroll all of it for free. You hear Ashlyn yell something encouraging, and you basically it's the Captain America power, which
Nice.
makes people fight or do better when they're around.
I'm just going to imagine that she said use the force or something like that since we're on the Star Wars track.
That's true. They're stormtroopers. Use the force. Oh man.
I'm gonna yell back in the circle.
I am one of the light. No, I'm one of the force, for the force is within me.
Okay, that is better. Okay, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, I'm gonna switch out my dice. I'm rolling too many sixes. Like I feel like I'm cheating right now. But yeah, I'm gonna get 10.
All right, I am not going to spend any adversity on that. I will save that for maybe getting my butt out of the fire. All right. Oh, so what was that, Ashlyn? Now you can activate your other power, which will give everybody and a +1 on everything they do.
Yeah, I was planning on that, but wasn't sure how close everybody was. But yeah.
Let me take a look here. Well, this is zone.
Mm.
I'll say this because let's say, I'm going to be generous. You feel kind of protective about this village. So as long as people stay within the fence, they're going to get the buff.
Oh, I like
But
it.
if Lamar or any of the other characters go out beyond the edge of and please, you don't know this, but if you go out beyond the edge of the fence, you don't get the buff anymore.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we need to rig up like a backpack for it to sit in, and we just carry her wherever we're going.
Now you use an action. You could, however you want to do it, you can yell out encouragement because you're doing the leadership thing already. But you can basically buff everybody. Now, let me make something. This is very important. You get +1 dice to all challenge rolls. And a challenge roll is basically whenever you roll a die. Attack, defense, everything. This also means that, for example, with Lamar, it lets him exceed the dice cap because that's one of the things that buff does. So if I ask you for a defensive roll, if you like, I'm going to use my power to do X, you get +1 die. Now that does mean that for those of you with an Omni power, you have one more die to play with, because anytime if you use it to attack or defend, that's a challenge. So, you're going to have 9 dice, and then whatever. You get the idea. Are you doing anything else? It took an action to activate it. If you want to shoot somebody, that would be your other action.
Yes, I would. Can I see the one who's shouting orders? Or is that the one in combat with Lamar?
You don't want to shoot at the one in combat with.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Because we use the gritty rules for that. Yes, from where you are, you can see, because it's not so much that they are any different, but they have the faceplate and they don't have the long staves or the short sticks, which are glowing, crackling blue. So there's like one individual with a sword and a pistol pointing with the sword, yelling, "Find the Outlanders." You can certainly take a shot at them.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Gotta
They are
remember,
going
I also
to...
get the +1 bonus.
Yes, you do. And I am going to roll their passive defense.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I can spend a resolve to re-roll that, right?
Yes.
I got 0 successes
Oof.
on
It's a good thing
6
you did.
dice.
It's a good thing you did not shoot at Lamar. You could have conceivably hit him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got a 7.
Okay.
I'm 2, 4. Yeah,
Well,
I'm rolling kind of well.
I only got 3. Well, 4.
All right,
I can't math.
So you see this individual stagger, and you're pretty positive you hit them dead center. And they kind of, they do this look down, and they're looking. I'm gonna see here. Oh, I'm not gonna spend an adversity to re-roll that. They have no idea where that shot came from.
Oh, good. Click, click.
All right, Edgar, you just heard a gunshot go off from the roof of one of the longhouses. You can hear yelling and shouting and such.
I am
You can
actually
see
going.
you can now start to see groups of these stormtroopers moving about.
I'm gonna let Roland go first in case he wants to go downstairs. So I'm gonna go after Roland.
All right.
Roland's not going downstairs. This is a great vantage point.
All right. So we're gonna hold your action, Edgar.
Go after Roland.
All right, Lamar, you have Astrid and Eric next to you, and you have you're sword to sword with one of these visored troopers, and there's actually I'll be fair. I'm going to start using names. This is an advanced Gator Trooper commander that you're in a fight with, and you can see more of these Gator Troopers spreading out, and you have 2 sets of allies, Astrid, Eric, Breck, and Vereen. That I'm going to let you command.
Is it now my turn?
No, it's
Okay.
their turn. But to be fair, I'm going to let you tell me what Eric does and what Astrid does.
Eric and Astrid kind of get into like a flanking maneuver, and they're on either side of me as I'm like fighting the dude, and they start like one goes low, one goes high.
All right.
With their spears.
All right. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. They are because we're not worrying about equipment and everything, and they're sort of broad brush. They're both now 9 dice. So I'm going to actually, because I'm but because I'm going to ask Freya to roll 9 dice, and Edgar, because you didn't do anything, you roll 9 dice, and then I'm going to roll this guy's defense.
Stab them deep. I believe.
Wow.
I rolled well.
I did too.
Oh,
Actually, oh, never mind. Never mind. I kind of want to explode all these 6s, but I think I'm going to save it.
Well, you can't. They don't have that power.
Oh, darn.
Holy crap. Oh no, that was not a 6. That was... I can't move my camera. But you guys would not believe, yeah. On this 1 die roll, everything came up positive except for 1 die. This is and I know these dice have betrayed me before. Everything will look like, oh my god, we're going to be destroyed, and my dice will just walk off into the sunset, and I won't be able to roll a thing. Okay, I'm going to start at the top of my screen. Edgar, pick black or blue?
Blue.
Blue, what'd you get?
I got 4 golds and 2 silvers, which is 10.
Holy crap.
I got a 7.
Which I said rolled really well. I'm using
I got
the
a
Paladin Therapy dice.
I got a 7 on that one, which means you did 3 health. We'll come back to that. What'd you get, Freya?
12.
Oh my god.
I took a picture of it. I'm posting
Okay,
it.
hold on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I also got 12.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, no, I rolled ridiculously well. All right, I'm going to do one thing. First of all, that negates yours. I'm not going to mess with that. And you can spend resolve on your ally's behalf. Technically, I'm sorry, rerolls are allowed through leadership, but I mean, rerolling a 12 on 9 dice, yeah, no, that's. I am going to spend one more adversity to see if I can reduce this 3 health. So I'm going to roll one more blue die. Edgar. Oh, wait. We didn't say who it was. So, you know what? I'm going to narrate this part. Lord, I don't believe it.
Did they take him out? That's going to be great.
Yeah, because they're foes. They don't have a full set of health. So, Lamar, Astrid and Eric come around, and like you said, one goes high and one goes low. And what you see is that this commander sort of brings his long sword. He's got this sort of long that he's using with 2 hands. It's straight bladed, sort of vaguely European style sword. But he kind of cuts away and he brings the blade around and he deflects, or he knocks the shot that was going to his midsection away, and he's bringing it around, and you see the other spear coming up, and he's kind of swinging all the way around, and he deflects it just enough, and it goes right through his helmet.
He's gonna like, ooh, but like nice.
And
Wow.
of course, this being who Astrid and Eric are, they both kind of yell out a victory cry. They don't wince at all. They're more like, yes! And you hear this sort of yell of a cheer of victory, and you see this and he's a big guy. You know, you figure he's about 6 feet, and this is actually when the helmet and visor comes away, and you realize you see that sort of scaled person face, and this figure just crumples to the ground. Wow.
Is he reminiscent of that of the skeek person? Like, is he just like a skinnier version of these guys? Like, is that the vibe I'm getting from these gator people?
It's hard to actually. Well, you can't really tell. You're just catching quick glimpses. The interesting thing too is actually the spear blade didn't go through the helmet; it went through a gap.
Okay.
Yeah, did not puncture through this white armor that they're wearing. So that was Astrid and Eric. Roland, you will go, and then Edgar will go.
All right, so I have a question because I've been looking up a power that I can copy. I've been looking up the summoning power, and I'm trying to understand how it works. I know that with this,
yeah,
I can select up to the trait cap -3, so I can do up to, our cap is 8, so I can do up to 5. The problem is I can't understand how many minions I summon.
Yeah, it is a giant pain. I will be honest. There's some people who understand how it works, and I'm going to make a best guess. Okay.
It does say I can summon no more than 10 minions per scene, at which case I can do trait cap -3.
Right, because trait cap -6 means you would summon right now 2D minions, and you could summon.
I can do any rank up to the game's trait cap -6. So I guess then any number of minions up to that, or 10 if I do trait cap -3. Which means I might be able to do 10 5-die minions, if I'm reading that correctly.
Right, but here's the problem. it costs 3 hero points per rank, and you only have 9. So the power costs 1 hero point for every 2 die threat you give them.
Right.
Uh,
So a 5 die is 3 points.
5 dice times 3, you need 15 dice to do that.
Okay. But
So
if I well, no, it's not 5 dice times 3. It's 5 dice times. It's 5 dice cut in half because you get 2 dice per point you spend. It says specifically
right, but it
your minions
says,
have a 5 or 6 dice threat. Your
if
power
your
costs 3
minions-
hero points per rank.
if your minions have 5 or 6 dice threat, the power costs 3 hero points per rank.
Right.
So, and a rank is a die. So a 5 die character costs 15 points. And you assign with your sorcery 1 die of sorcery is 1 point.
Okay. So I could do like 1 3-die minion. Okay, never mind. Because I was hoping I could summon like another squad of approximately equal strength against the one they have.
Yeah, it's
Right.
unfortunately this really comes in useful when you have a much larger pool of sorcery to do it with. You could summon a bunch of little minions to help you accomplish minor tasks. You could be a Disney princess all yourself with your little, woodland followers chasing after you.
Right.
But unfortunately, at this level, it's
Okay.
as I understand it, it's not going to quite work.
All right. So then I'm going to stick with something a little more direct.
Okay.
All right. So if I read this correctly, to do area of effect, it costs, where was it? I was looking at it, anywhere from 1 to 4 hero points.
Correct.
So I wanted it to be able to do an explosion. Essentially, what I want to do is essentially create a bomb in the middle of one of the groups of enemies, where none of our allies are close by.
Right. So burst is an explosion, and it targets the area, and always targets the area. So it costs 1 die. So you can do an 8 die blast burst.
Excellent. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
So Roland is once again gonna tap the flare gun in his hand because it works really like with the staff. He's going to point it at one of the groups of minions that's currently unengaged, and he's going to say, "Anyway, we delivered the bomb," and then he's going to pull the trigger.
All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your 8 dice because you've spent your buff dice to get the explosion effect, and I am going to roll. I'm going to roll their threat, which is a different value. Oh my God. Maybe I should have rolled my black dice. Those are the ones that were nice. And here's the advantage of AoE or burst. You defeat 2 minions for every success.
All right, well, I got 6 successes.
You got 6 successes. I got 3. I got lots and lots of minions. So you got 6 successes. I got 3. That's 3 successes. Yeah.
So I quoted Joss this time. Hooray!
So what was it, a fireball or just like a big concussive bomb?
It was just a big concussive bomb because he's quoting the movie. So literally, like, he pulls the trigger, like a missile fires out, flies over towards them, and then explodes.
And what you see is like the ground erupt, and you see 5 of these figures, because for convenience sake, they're in groups of 5. You see 5 of these figures just sort of fly through the air. Nice ragdolls. All right, Edgar.
Are there any groups going towards the people, or are they all trying to pay attention to us?
They are coming toward the center of the village, which is where some of the villagers are, and which is where you guys are. So they're sort of moving. They're trying to assemble into like a broad group and line and move across the village.
I'm gonna combat stunt then. I'm dispelling the stairs, and I'm gonna. So the longhouses are all essentially like diagonally pointed toward the center of the village, right? And that's where they're heading. So I'm gonna run to the one closest to the center, and any group that is approaching the approaching the people in the middle. I'm going to try to hinder them by using construct to drop like a big giant like anvil type thing on them essentially, but it's going to combat stun. I'm not trying to do damage to them. I'm trying to hinder them.
Okay. They don't move for a little bit, but we can roll that now.
Okay.
What you're going to do is your combat stunt versus their threat.
Okay. So I will do that.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to weigh stuff down on them. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Well, which combat stunt are you trying to use?
So I will say, so what I wanted to do was try to disarm them if possible. So like, I don't know if that would be like a hands or something like that. So as far as combat stunts, I'm trying to do the, where are you? I just had that page open. Here we go. Maybe
Oh, well,
actually, I think, how about overpower? Would that work?
Well, if you want to disarm him, that's flashy move. But
Okay, flashy.
what? Well, yeah, and I just realized because of these are minions, it's really just their threat against your roll. So let me roll their threat. Okay, what'd you get?
7.
Okay, I got a 4, so that you beat me by 3. Yeah. I'm gonna note here that an entire group of minions are disarmed.
Cool. And that could be like trying to knock stuff out of their hands, really blunt objects or something, just trying to essentially knock those stab things they're carrying out.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing.
And just to be clear to everybody else, what he succeeded by 3, and the sample effects include drop item or weapon, which is exactly what he wanted. You can do combat stunts against anybody. It's going to get a little harder when you do it against non-minions, just to be clear. All right. So they're going to have to gather their gear up again. Okay. Lamar, you also have Breck and Vareen near you. And if you send them out to somebody, I'm going to ask Ashlyn and Roland to roll their dice, but they are raring to try to like throw down against all these different Gator troopers around them.
Go hard. Like I encourage them.
All right.
Are you asking me if it's okay? I gotcha.
I mean, I'm basically saying, I'm just, if tell me what you want them to do. And if you tell it, basically, if they're going to attack, so the two of them are going to basically attack one group. They're not confident enough to 1-on-5. But the two of them are going to charge spears and shields out into a group of these troopers and start wailing away. Now, I'm going to ask for a 7-die roll from Roland and from Ashlyn, and I'm going to roll these troopers' threat.
All right.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm ready to go. I got 6 successes.
Roland. Okay, blue or red, Roland?
Red.
Red? I'm going to spend an adversity to re-roll that because I got 0.
Wow.
All right, so how many successes did you get?
6.
All right, well, on my re-roll, I got a 2. So, jeez. That's one down for every success. All right. Ashlyn, what'd you get?
5.
5. I got okay. Did I drop a die? Yes, I did. Well, thanks to Ashlyn's buff, Breck and Vareen just wrecked together. They have also defeated a combat squad of these guys. Okay. Roland is gone. Okay, now the troopers go. All right. First thing first.
I'm the realist.
I need. I need Brekka and Vereen, because they're out there together hacking away gleefully, to make a 4-die roll. And I'm going to ask the two people who rolled. Okay.
Looks like
I'm
we
going
lost
to
David
ask
again.
Edgar. I'm going to ask Edgar and Freya to both roll 4 dice. Sorry, both roll 5 dice. Buff is going.
All right. Who are we missing?
Ava. 6 successes.
6.
6 on 5. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Gold, silver, silver.
All right. Ye- 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So what you see, I'm sorry, I should have described before I started rolling dice. What happens is, from the upper deck of 2 of these vehicles, you see armored troopers basically extending out hand weapons and firing at Brekka and Vereen, who are out a bit from everybody else. And Brekka, being one of the sort of dodges quite easily, but Vereen gets hit dead center and looks to be dead.
Shit.
And there's a sort of a scream because he only has 3 health and he got hit for like 10 out of, or he got hit for quite a few after the defensive roll, and he drops down.
Would this be an instance where I can rewind? This time I would need to spend 2 resolve, I think, because this is technically still the same scene. Is that correct?
Yes, it's still the same scene, and you can rewind it.
Yeah, I don't want people from our side to die, so
All right.
I'm gonna rewind that.
Eating up.
I saw that
eating
future
up
and I
that
don't like
resolve.
it. I am. Eating up
Right.
that resolve.
So the death scream, the recognizable scream as he goes down, you're like, wait, no, that we don't want that to happen. And Lamar, what you do see is he gets hit and his shield disintegrates and he crashes down to the ground, and Brekka sort of drops down next to him to see if he's okay. You're not sure if they're going to keep fighting this next page or not. And then one other of these troopers is going to fire a shot at you, and you're going to need to use your evasion. That's at you, Lamar.
Please roll
But
high.
you do get +1 die to your evasion because you're buffed.
I already used my rewind, so please roll. Please roll well. You're muted, by the way.
Alrighty. Typically, I mute on the actual microphone, so I was confused. And then, yeah, never mind. Alright. I got 3. 4. Sorry.
4?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna spend an adversity to roll 1 more die.
Alrighty.
Well, you get seared, but you don't take any damage.
Oh,
I got a 4. You got a 4. Yeah, whatever they're shooting some sort of Star Trek-y, Star Wars-y energy beam, and you can feel it kind of scorch your side as you duck out of the way just at the last moment. Now, one set of troopers starts picking up all the weaponry after it was taken away from them. And then you see about 20 surviving troopers come mobbing forward. And I'm not going to roll for dice for this. Basically, they come crashing into your. Actually, what I'm going to ask, I'm going to do this very simply. I'm going to ask one of you. I want one of you out there to please roll 3 dice.
Me.
Go for it.
Sure.
Okay, what'd you get?
So who rolled it?
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah,
you
who
were
rolled
rolling it.
Oh, I said not me. So,
Oh.
yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
I got
I'll
it.
do it.
Oh, go
It was
ahead.
3.
All right, I rolled it and I got 3.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm gonna spend one more adversity to be cruel.
It's alright, he's going through them quickly.
Oh my God. All right, so it's an even fight. What you notice is that these troopers are carrying these long staffs or lances and sticks that are glowing and crackling. The problem is, there's tussling back and forth, but the villagers with their spears and other gear are sort of defending themselves pretty well. They're not being shot at or anything, so that's probably the only reason why they're actually still up. Yeah, 7 dice. I got a whopping 3, and then on my additional die, I got 0. So basically the troopers and the villagers are sort of mixing it up. Now that's going to make ranged attacks kind of hard, unless you get down in there with them. But they are trying to defend themselves against whatever is going on. And now we get back to Lamar. Lamar, you can see 2 more of these guys with swords, and they're both kind of looking at you with body language that says they are not happy with what just happened, and they're thinking it's time to avenge their fallen comrade.
Hey, it had nothing to do with me, guys. He's gonna say, but he's gonna keep his he's gonna stay at his ground.
Well,
Like,
what's your action?
I didn't kill your guy. But yeah, screw it. Yeah, he's gonna go hard to pay. So he is going to he's going to kind of circle around and try to keep both of them in front of him, and
Okay.
He is going to attack them. So,
All right. So you're going to try to attack both or just one of them?
yeah, why not? Yeah. He feels like he is wielding lightsabers at the moment. So.
All right. So you can do that, but you are performing multiple actions, so each of your attacks are at -2.
Okay. Oop. -2. Take 2 dice out. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm sorry, 6. 6 is
All
okay.
right. So you got a 6 on the first guy?
Yes, sir. And then the second guy.
Yeah. Well, the first guy blocks your attack.
Okay. Oh, well, then the first guy, yet again. So it's still -2 to all my attacks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now remember, you're starting with 12 dice. So you should be rolling 10 die per attack.
Oh, okay. Well, I rolled 2 sets of 8. So, yeah. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 6s, 1 4. So 5 on the second one. No, 7. I'm so bad at math. There. Yeah. So 7.
7.
Yes, sir.
What was the okay? What was the first guy?
The first guy was 6, and then the second time I rolled was a 7.
All right, so the first guy blocks. The second guy also got a 7, so you are just you've crossed swords with both of them, and the second guy barely stops your attack.
Yeah. A little help.
Unfortunately, leadership has been used. I hate to do this, but actually, it's a very good point is made, and I could probably use a break too. It is 8 o'clock. I know it's right in the middle of a battle, but I think I would like to get some more water, and I need to do a bio break. So let's take 10 minutes.
Sounds great.
And the action is fast and furious. And I think hopefully you guys will emerge victorious. Well, now that we are back, we are at the top of our next page of combat. Lamar is just gone. He tried to attack 2 foes at once, and unfortunately, these guys are pretty tough. Kind of glass cannon. Once you get past their defenses, so they'll go down. But Freya, all is confusion. There's shouting and yelling. You can occasionally hear that weird noise of these energy weapons being fired. The villagers that you know are kind of in a mob, engaged with these weird troopers with white armor and strange crackling staves and sticks and lances. You can hear, I don't know if Lamar is actually yelling. It's hard to say, but you've got Roland throwing magic and loudly announcing everything he's doing. And twice so far, you have seen things or felt things happen that you're like, no. So twice you have rewound or seen a bad future and have apparently willed it to not occur. Are you going to take any real action or just hold on to your hat and try to undo bad things if they occur?
I love how she pulled out the tome.
Yeah.
Right. I've been sitting here with a digital copy this whole time trying to look at powers and stuff.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
I'm old and I like to have the physical book for whatever reason. I don't like reading PDF copies. I don't know. I'm just old. I like books.
I have.
Oh, you ever come to Denver? You can see my 3,600 book library.
I might not ever leave until I read all of them. Just don't offer that because you'll be stuck with me forever.
Well, if you'll help cover the rent.
That seems fair. I was looking at Total Recall, but I don't really know that would be helpful right now because I don't know anything about. I wouldn't be able to really recall anything about these because I don't know them.
The nice thing about Total Recall is that in the future, you're going to be able to come back and say, no, I remember. Can you tell me exactly what? And of course, I will have to try to remember everything. Good luck on that.
Okay, I have a question. So we've defeated quite a few of the minions at this point. Is there anything nearby that I can get to? Any kind of physical object that I can touch to use the psychometry that I can try to get psychic impressions off of it to divine something that will help us?
The problem is all the defeated ones are on the far side of the encampment. You can go running across the village if you want, and to do that, but you've got the villagers and the troopers sort of in front of you, because all the defeated ones are over where Lamar is and where Roland has been dropping spells.
Okay. Okay, and it's only inanimate objects. I wouldn't be able to run up to one of them and like try to sneak up behind them and touch them and try to figure out anything that would help us.
I would say if you burn a resolve, you can always stunt it to get lucky breaks. Or now remember, you can stunt your powers to simulate another power. Not sure if that's going to help here. Closest I can think of would be to stunt precog into time stop, which would be disgusting. But I would allow burning a resolve to let you pull something from a person.
Is a corpse an inanimate object? Just out of curiosity.
Well, and that was my original thought, but they're too far away, I think is the problem. But no, let's talk about this time stop thing real quick. Does it stop time for all of us or just the enemies?
Just you.
Oh, it only stops time.
Okay, so let me explain real quick, because now I will note with Roland doesn't need to stunt anything. I had somebody like, I'm going to stunt my elemental control. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. Elemental control lets you duplicate whatever you want. What you can do, though, is with some of the powers that you have, you can stunt them as long as it makes comic book, or in this case, makes plot sense. So precognition lets you look at a possible future and undo it, and that's 12 points. Time stop costs 3 points per rank. So if you stunt precog to time stop, it becomes 4 ranks of time stop, which is 4 pages where nothing is going on except for you. You have 4 pages of actions you can do.
Really?
Yeah. Now, once again, it would cost 1 resolve to stunt it. To stunt it is going to cost 1 resolve the first time, 2 resolve the second time. It's going to eat, first of all, your precog eats up your resolve. You have a ton of resolve because you have no real combat powers. But this will, this eats up your resolve. Both of these powers eat up your resolve at a massive rate. Now, you can't damage anybody, but you can set something up so that damage will occur the moment it turns off.
Interesting. I have ideas. I don't think any of them are good ideas, but I have ideas. Okay, so you said that there are no dead bodies. I would have to run to get to a dead body, correct?
Or an unconscious. We're not certain, I can tell you that the native warrior types are certainly trying to kill. We're not sure if Lamar has done that, or if some of the other attacks by your fellow heroes have resulted in casualties or just knocked out.
Okay.
I don't think Roland's been holding back because he's too caught up in the power of being able to make magic. Just saying. He did just literally make a bomb explode in the middle of a bunch of people.
Yep.
Sorry I'm taking so long. I promise I'm going to figure this out. Would I be able to move to get a little closer to someone and still hold like an actual action?
Yes, because your movement action is you always have a movement action, and then activating your power is a separate action.
Okay. I want to move. So Lamar has the extra people around him. I think I want to move towards where Roland did the explosion.
Okay. So effectively, what you're going to want to do, I will say, if you look at the map, you're going to want to move to the right side of the map and run around the long house where it kind of butts up against the fence, and curve around to where the smithy is, because that's where the bulk of these troops are. They've come in, and that's where like the bomb went off. So there's a couple of ships there. There's a bunch of unmoving troopers, and such, and the target that you're looking for like psychometry would be there.
Okay. I want to do that, and then if there's something I can... like a bush or something that I can like duck behind.
Oh yeah, if you let me see here. Let me double check again. Yeah, it's not it's open ground, but there's enough random bits and bobs and things for you to try to hide yourself.
Okay.
There is light illuminating the area, but it's coming kind of straight down, so there's
Okay.
shadowy areas and such you can duck into. And
Okay.
to be fair, a lot of the troops are not really looking at someone like you. They're more interested in the really dangerous people: Lamar, Astrid, Eric, Roland.
I can be dangerous. Yeah, she's not really trying to hide. She's just trying to have cover, I guess. And then I will hold my action for now.
Dangerous
Okay.
people. Towards she manipulates time and sees the future. LOL.
All right.
Yeah, right.
So now the advanced Gator Trooper commanders. Um. So actually the one that got shot did not know who shot him, but can see Roland throwing attacks around all over the place. So he comes charging forward and then sets, and he kind of brings his sword to brace his pistol hand, and he's going to fire a shot at you, Roland.
Okay. Let's go with I'm going to use my Omni power to throw up a shield.
Okay.
I gotta figure out a quote.
What you're doing there is you're basically, you can say it's armor.
Right.
Actually, if you use it to create armor, it's going to be a little bit more than that. So what you need to let me bring this up here. All right, so Roland, what happens is you can create 8 dice of armor and add that to half your toughness rounded up, so you have 10 dice of armor.
Okay.
You understand how I get that?
Yeah. Hold on. You're talking about the armor power, correct?
Right. If you're trying to simulate armor, which can be a shield in front of you.
Okay. Where are you getting the 5 from? Is it the baseline rank?
Right. Baseline rank is half your toughness, so your toughness is crap. I was just looking at your character sheet.
It's a 3.
Your toughness currently is 3. You have that round up to 2. You have 7 dice of sorcery, which would make it 9, but you're buffed, so that brings it all the way up to 10.
Okay. All right. That's what I was thinking. All right. And since we've been doing Star Wars quotes. He's gonna like see the gun. He's gonna go, that armor's too strong for blasters.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. And just to make sure I have a little bit of extra defense, I'm going to go ahead and use a resolve to get an extra dice. I haven't even looked at my result yet. I'm just going to get extra dice. Actually, you know what? I'll look at the result first.
All right. What's your reason? What'd you get?
I got 10. I got 2 zeros, 2 2s, and the rest of them were 1s.
All right. I'm not even going to worry about it. It's just too much of a gap. Okay. So this bolt hits and just kind of detonates in front of you, but you are, yeah, your armor's too strong for blasters. I'll have to try a different way. Lamar, you are between two of these guys, and basically they both are going to take a swing at you. Real quick note, Roland, if you do anything with your Omni power on
It's gonna
your
cost
turn,
less. Yeah, I'm gonna have less.
it's down. Right. Yeah. All right, so these guys are both going to take a swing at you with their swords. You need to defend yourself.
Alrighty. And it's -2 to all of my dice, correct?
Yeah.
Or
Hey, Roland, you're
Yeah.
standing on top of a longhouse, aren't you?
I am, in fact.
Yep, I'm going to cross out your jinx. You know that blaster bolt you just deflected?
Uh-huh.
Went straight down to your feet into the thatch that makes the roof of a longhouse.
Great. Wait a minute, hold on. You can't use Jinx against me. You have to use it on somebody else.
Yeah, I'm using it on the villagers as a whole.
Oh, that's so mean. Okay.
I'm going to use I'm going to use strike. I'm going to try to parry their blows out the way.
Okay. Oh, did I?
I switched up my
3,
dice.
6, 9. Count worth crap. All right, so the first strike comes in. What'd you get?
I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7.
Yeah, I got a whopping 3. You know what? I'm just going to re-roll that. I'm going to spend an adversity and just re-roll the whole mess. Oh, wow, I got 5. Okay.
All right. I still have
This-
7.
Yep, you still have 7. So the second guy is going to hit. You need to defend yourself against him. Okay, that was nowhere near as good as it looked.
Is it like a cumulative, or am I still rolling the same?
You're still rolling the same. You're still rolling the same.
Okay.
Len's heroic scale would actually reduce your defense. I think it's your evasion, but we're not playing that game.
Okay. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 this time.
I got a 7. You're gonna take you get cut.
Okay. He like takes one on the shoulder and then just kind of like glances. I'm not glances. Grimaces just a little bit. Tries to spring, take a step back.
Actually, to be fair, Roland, it didn't go into your feet. It basically deflected. You you do your Star Wars deflect the Han Solo's blaster bolt in Cloud City. So what you don't know, to make it more like a jinx, is that the bolt went basically was reflected off into the distance.
One of the other longhouses.
It hits a different longhouse. In fact, it hit the longhouse that basically is between. If you look at the map, it's the longhouse that if you're on top of standing on top of the top right one, it hit the bottom right one, so it's starting to burn that one, which is over where Lamar is. Okay, I was like worried this might be too much. No, you guys are actually using your powers very creatively and well. And of course, my dice at times are like, nope. Ashlyn.
Yes. Wish I was better with shooting a gun. Oh wait, I guess the guy with the shouting orders. He's the one that shot at Roland, yeah?
Yes, and Roland did something with his hands, and you saw this energy bolt like just bounce away from him and disappear off into off into somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy got like a 1, and so had no idea. Like somebody shot me, but he has no idea who. So he went off to the guy throwing really visible spells around.
Well, I'm gonna shoot him again.
Okay.
Let's hopefully do some damage this time.
Ashlyn double tap.
This is not what Ashlyn is good at. Mother of Christ. I'm re-rolling it.
Okay.
Good thing I've got a lot of resolve.
You know, being up there with Lamar in terms of getting dice is one of those things that I'm like, I gotta be careful.
Oh, yes!
All right. You got it?
7. Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
By the way,
Wait.
if you guys get exploding dice, they can be ridiculous. I saw somebody get 22 successes on exploding dice, and I was just like, okay, I'm not even gonna.
Ava got
bother.
like 32 one day.
Oh, wait. I did not. I need to roll one more. Okay, that was nothing. But 7 successes.
7.
On 6
I am
dice.
running.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm running really low on adversity here, so.
Got 3 6s.
Nice.
Jeez. So you see, so Roland and Ashlyn, you both see this one trooper who had fired at you, like just rock over from a bullet hitting the helmet, and kind of head, kind of staggering there. Edgar, I'm gonna say that you delayed, and if you want to wait, and you can do whatever you want. Never mind.
I am delaying because so one to still see if Roland needs anything, but also I want to throw up defenses for the citizens if they're having trouble in the battle.
Okay. Right. We will do. I am not going to do. Technically, well, no, because they're fighting in small. I'm not going to do. I'm going to do it the same way. It's just going to be one die roll versus one die roll, and then I will narrative from there. So we're worried. So Eric, Edgar, you're waiting. Astrid and Eric are still, and Breck and Vereen are still actually over in Lamar's area. Astrid and Eric were helping you fight some of these commander types. Breck and Vereen are sort of chasing. Actually, Breck and Vereen, Breck is helping Vereen away. He's not dead, but he's hurt. So they're actually. I'm going to say they're not really fighting at the moment. But Lamar, you've got Astrid and Eric with you. What do they do? Do they decide to help you, or are they going to go try to fight the guy shooting at you from the sky rafts, or?
They are totally going to split off and go get the sniper taking pot shots at me.
Okay.
I tell them that I think I got this, even if deep down he probably doesn't think he does, but he knows he should think he does, right? Yeah, that's what.
I'm going to give you a resolve for being ridiculous, somewhat overconfident, even if you're not, for putting up a brave front. So they are not going to be able to really make an attack because they're probably unless they throw their spears, but they go running off, trying to get the people that are shooting at you, who are up in the top of these flying ships. They can throw their spears if they want. You can try roll that for each of them.
I would like to delegate that to to other rollers in the group if I can.
Well, if you would like them to take that action, I'll have.
Oh yes, I'd like them to take that action, but delegate the actual rolling to.
All right. So yeah, they realize that you're under fire, that you're fighting two guys. They've seen you're a blur, you're a wonder worker, you can handle that. They totally accept. I got this. So they go hailing off, and they can see these armored individuals in the top of these vehicles that are sort of sniping away. So they're going to throw spears. Anybody want to roll? I need 2 8-die rolls from anybody. Okay. All right. Freya's going to do 1.
I can roll the other.
All right.
Eight.
Freya, what'd you? Huh?
8. I got 3 6s again.
Okay.
I got 10. I got 4 6s.
Poor GM.
We're not going to be allowed to roll anymore.
Why can't I roll like that when I'm rolling it for me?
We're rolling for NPCs. Omega crits. Like,
I have to spend resolve to get a dice like that.
So what happens, or what you'll find, is they hurl, and you see these armored troopers, but they don't have a faceplate. But it doesn't matter. They both are able to basically stand. They get their shield out to sort of counterbalance, and they hurl these spears and catch both of them pretty much in the throat face area, punching through all the fleshy bits, but not the armor parts, and disposing of 2 pilots right there.
These villagers are incredible. Do they even need us?
No.
Huh?
I said, do these villagers even need us? They're incredible.
Roland, you there's 4 of these vehicles. There's somebody actually just took a shot at you.
Right. Just took a shot at me. Okay.
And Ashlyn, actually, you heard a rifle go off, and you saw the one that shoot at you sort of just rock over, getting hit somewhere in the upper body.
Okay. Yeah. For now, I think I'm going to ignore him. The vehicles, are they still filled with troops, or?
Mm-mm.
No. All right. Do they have? Okay. So are these vehicles in the air?
Nope. They are look to be hovering up off the ground.
Is that guy who was shooting at me still on his feet?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So Roland's going to look over at one of these vehicles. He's going to wave his staff. I'm going to use the control machine power, and I'm going to say, mind if I test drive your Audi? And then I'm going to try and make the vehicle run the guy over.
Hey. Let me take a look at something real quick.
Because it doesn't say I can't copy machine control.
No, you can copy machine control.
Yep.
Let me take a look at something here. All right. I know I'm not okay. So you're gonna need to roll your machine control, and I'm going to roll your target's body.
I got 6 successes.
I got 6 successes.
All right. You know what? I'll use a resolve. I want this to work.
Okay.
Make that 7.
All right. You can. You have 1 page of control. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll 9 dice. And the reason is it has 8 body, 8 dice a body, but you are buffed, and this is a challenge roll. So you're going to roll 9 dice versus this guy's passive defense. Because I'm sorry, his skill with a sword or a pistol does not help getting run over by a truck. Oh my god.
There's been a lot of that this game. I appreciate it.
I'm the guy, like, I will once again note, I'm the guy that on 18 dice got 5 successes.
I have 8 successes.
Sure. In a scene right out of a Mad Max movie, you draw this vehicle forward, and it comes zipping across the ground, and the commander turns just at the last moment, and wham! You run right over him, or them. You're not sure at this range, and then with all that armor, and they kind of just ragdoll, limp underneath, and tumble. One thing is that you had a grip on the, like, I've got this, and then you realize that it's a very nebulous grip. This is a machine, sort of. I mean, it's a machine, but it's a strange machine. You're not 100% on it. All right, that was that. Now it's Edgar. Edgar, you're still holding your action, right?
So I'm holding for when they're attacking the villagers.
Okay. So Brecca is trying to pull Vereen away. He's up and walking. He actually doesn't have any health damage because time got rewound, but I actually have decided he is a bit hurt. So they're kind of not really in, or at least Vereen's not in the fight at the moment. Now, the Gator Troopers and the Fearcat villagers are gonna rumble. Yeah. So what I'm gonna ask is somebody to volunteer to roll 3 dice.
I'll do it.
All right. I'm gonna re-roll that. That was so bad.
I didn't get 3 6s, but I did get 3 successes. I got 1 6.
So you got the same thing I did last time, right?
I'm down to my last adversity, so I'm not going to re-roll this again. So yeah, I got like 1 success on 7 dice, and then I re-rolled again and I got 3. Oh, I can't get any angst out of this. So, Edgar, what you see, it's sort of this. It's a weird stalemate. The weapons, I will say, for narrative purposes, you see some of the villagers have fallen, but they don't look dead. They're like twitching. It's like somebody, like whatever those weird sparking weapons they have, they're like a weird taser type thing, because you see people and they kind of like, and they collapse. Some of them are trying to crawl away, but nothing the villagers throw at these armored guys is doing anything. It's like they're just tanking whatever hits them. This is they may look like stormtroopers. They certainly don't defend like stormtroopers.
All right. And so since I did not have to intervene, what I'm going to do instead then is make a slide down, and go towards that start walking towards that group.
Okay. Let's see. Somebody roll, because so I need somebody to roll. Oh, I don't have a crap. Let's go with Eric, because he's the one kind of the commander type. I need somebody to roll 8 dice for Eric.
I'll do it.
Now I get a really good roll.
No.
Actually, sorry. Roll 4 dice for Eric.
Definitely.
5. You got to roll 5. Shit, I forgot about the buff. You roll 5 dice for Eric.
I got 4 successes.
I got 5.
I got 2
so-
6s and nothing else.
Yeah. So there is. So you see two. So several things are happening. First of all, the sky raft that is down at the bottom of the one street that you can see at the crossroads there starts to move. It's coming up. It's got the chicken coops on one side and the carpentry on the other. It's sort of moving forward. Over where you are, Lamar, the third sky vehicle, the pilot takes a snapshot and actually hits Eric, and he kind of stumbles because his mail coat and shield aren't 100% at blocking energy weapons. So that's what those guys do. Lamar, we're back at the top, and you are still fighting 2 of these commanders all by yourself.
He's going to hold one sword out to the side and point at the other ones, and point at the 2 in front of him, and he's going to be like, "Name yourselves." And he's like, "I am the hidden machine."
I am the what?
The hidden machine.
The
one
hidden
that
machine?
creates obstacles. I'm the first of my kind. They call me HMO1. And if you know about Pokemon, HMO1 is cut. That is just the move.
So,
cut.
yeah, I am the machine. Really?
Yeah.
That's why his nickname is HMO1. I don't know why I didn't pick that up before.
And then he is going to then hold and see if if they move towards him in a threatening manner, then that's his trigger for attacking them. And so he's gonna sheathe both swords, but he's doing the whole EI jutsu, like Batu jutsu type to move. And he's like, yeah, and that's what he's doing.
Okay.
It's a fancy way of saying he's going to cut these guys.
Yeah.
All right, give me a quick moment. Thank you. There it is. All right. Okay, so you're holding Freya. There is lots of violence over where you. Well, actually, significantly less violence. Over to one side, there's battle going on. There's a lot less shooting. There's some. You can see Lamar sort of squared off against 2 of these commander types. All of them have swords out. It looks like something out of Game of Thrones or a million samurai films mashed together.
He's under here. Did I see the ship land on the other guy?
Oh yeah, you saw one of these sky rafts just get yanked forward and just steamroll one of these commander types, and it's over there, sort of in the middle of the village.
Okay. From where I am, can I see, is the guy moving?
Oh no, he's not moving at all.
Okay. Would I be able to get over there in
Yeah.
one turn?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to do that, and then I would like to touch him, which sounds dirty, but I just I want to touch his head and do the psychometry and see if I can
All right. So he is very broken. He got hit by a vehicle. You also realize that the pilot is up there. There's a pilot up there, but he's kind of sprawled out, and that's a spear sticking out of his face. And so you touch this Gator Trooper commander who's laying there kind of crumpled under the front of this weird vehicle, which is still hovering. It actually hasn't landed. And what are you looking for with your psychometry?
I want to know exactly who these people are and why they're here. Like what specific person they are looking for. If I can, I will spend a resolve to get the in-depth information if I need to.
Let me take a look, first of all, at psychometry. You pick up psychic impressions and glean information from physical objects.
Technically, he's an inanimate object now, right?
Well, you're touching the armor, which is good enough.
Okay.
Oh, but a specific... Okay, so let me give you the initial spiel.
Okay.
So what happens is you touch the armor. Basically, you touch the helmet because that's sort of what's sticking there. You can see that, and you can see the faceplate is shattered, and you see that sort of smooth reptilian face that is similar to the traitor that you saw in Ashcam that came from the monarchy of the two queens, and this sprawled figure is laying there. You kind of realize that they're not moving or breathing, but at the moment that's not really registering exact. But you touch the helmet, and what you immediately get, because you're kind of wondering, what this is about, is a view of an ocean, just a expanse of water, and this pillar of stone, this sort of semi-jagged pillar of stone sticking up out, and it's incredibly tall. It's you're not sure how big it is, but you get a vast sense of scale because that's definitely not a small pool of water. You can see breaking waves and everything, and this vast tall pillar of stone, and there's openings in it, and within those openings you see these. It's because I just watched the movies recently. It's all that J.J. Abrams Star Trek bridge look. Everything is white or chrome or blue and shiny and clean and nothing like any of the environment you've been in right now. And it's high tech. There's all these vehicles. You see masses of figures in this white armor, and then you catch a glimpse of this, and it dwarfs these other people. If they're all this guy's size, they're all around 6 feet in height. They've all got that, powerful armored build. But there is this figure, this creature, they're sort of haranguing them, that looks like a human torso, or humanoid torso with arms, kind of a long neck and a head, and this long serpentine tail. So it's this sort of weird serpent humanoid creature, and I think yeah, this is the scale is not correct, but that is sort of what you see. And I may crap. I can get you a better depiction in a moment. I need to look for it.
Okay.
I've got it squirreled away somewhere. But that is the impression you get, and it also has this sort of white armor outfit or whatever, somewhat a longer neck and very obviously reptilian, and it's sort of pointing. It's got this the body language and pose is like every single dictator type pose. And you can kind of, the psychic impression is one of command, of find them, find these outlanders. And then you see these troops moving into these vehicles, and then taking them, lifting to the air and streaking out of this. And that's sort of, you get that other impression of this pillar in the middle of a vast body of water, and these vehicles moving at high speed.
Okay. It doesn't give me any impression as to what the person is that they're looking for. Like, specifically, like, I don't get any, like, psychic pictures of what the person would look like.
That's resolve time, because that's going to be the in-depth.
I will do that. I will spend the resolve for that.
So, then you go a little deeper. We have to go deeper. And you start to get a little lost in, and what you're kind of picking up, it's not memories, but more of, sort of, it's sort of, like I said, the psychic impressions that are left in the helmet, because apparently this figure in full armor, moving around, doing things. So what you get then is that serpent humanoid figure showing what looks to be like ridiculously advanced monitor screens or 2D hologram, whatever. They're certainly not tubes, they're not flat screens, they're some sort of viewing panels. And you see what you realize is the wreck of the airplane. And this serpent individual is sort of pointing, indicating, and the impression is that whatever came with that, they need to find.
Okay. Well. All right.
And yeah, that sort of that gives you sort of a run, and it's sort of it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah. So yeah, that she kind of takes her hands back and stumbles back, and that's just where she's gonna to sit to process until her next turn.
So for proportions, when I found this picture, I was like, that's perfect. The picture I just uploaded, imagine the advanced armor, but those proportions. And the impression that you get, Freya, is immense. Like, standing up like that, this thing is taller than the trooper that's laying on the ground here. So, so yes, it's not bigger in the body and arms than it's a bit bigger, but not huge. It's just got a long neck and can raise its body up. So you're like, this thing is what, 20, it's this serpent humanoid is huge, at least long. Oh God, a Titan Boa Yanti. There's a nightmare for you.
Did I get the impression that they are looking for, like, a group of people like us, or do I get the impression that they're only looking for, like, do they think they're only looking for, like, one thing?
No, the impression is who or whatever left that vehicle is to be found.
Gotcha. Okay. So they want us. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Dun 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 dun. What is it? It's 9 o'clock. So we start at 6. Okay, we got an hour. I think this battle is going to start to wrap up, though, because you guys have defeated most of the captains, and everything else is starting to fall apart. Next session, I foresee some serious Q&A next session with what? Okay, Frat was Freya. Oh, okay. So Lamar is going to get his. So these two commanders sort of step back, and they look at each other and look at you. And one of them says, and they have a surprisingly deeper you're not actually not kind of sure what voice, but one of them does lift the visor away, and you can see that serpentine face, or more like I said, a skink, that sort of smooth pointed nose, but more binocular eyes, and one of them says, "You fight well, mammal. The masters of the world will find you to be a great prize. Surrender, and you will be taken unharmed."
My blood's too hot for you guys. Go
And
skid her off where you need.
what was that?
Go skid her off to wherever you need to. Yeah.
So the other one slaps a gauntlet onto his breastplate and says, "So you are the hidden machine. I am Commander Jambin. I shall destroy you and your arrogance."
He's going to kind of give like a slight tip of the head. He's like, "All right," and he just grips he grips his right hand blade, and he's just waiting for him to make a move.
All right. So you said you were delayed, and you haven't taken dialogue. With your danger sense and your agility, your edge, both of them are going to come in to basically take you down. So you can strike first at one of them if you wish.
Okay. Yeah. Whichever one moves first is the one that I will I dash towards and try to cut down.
Commander Jambin is going to move in first.
Alrighty. Well then, Jambit it is. So am I still at -2?
What'd you roll for your attack there?
Oh, I did. I was asking if I was at -2 before I rolled.
No, because you're not doing a multiple action. You're attacking one guy, and defense does not get the -2.
Sounds good. All right. Well, then I'll roll these 12 dice. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits.
Okay. I'm gonna name these two guys now that I've given them a name. All right. Well, you actually wound him. There's a blur of motion, but you realize that much like stormtrooper armor and armor worn by most people, there are some gaps, and you managed to find one of the gaps, and Jambin stumbles. Now he's going to swing back at you, so now you have to defend yourself.
Okay. My best defense is strike, but I think it'd be more thematic if he tried to dance out of the way, since he's swinging with the one sword instead of just immediately trying to parry with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll use evasion. There you go.
Okay. If you really want to do that, you could still say your strike is dodging, but it's, yeah, you can use evasion. Just remember, you do get +1 die because you're buffed.
Boom. Doing it. Jumping out the way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You do jump out of the way. Yeah, you guys have worn me down. I have one adversity, and I'm just going to hold on to that.
All right.
In case I need an act of villainy. And then the other one comes in, and at this point, the other commander comes in and is going to take a swing at you as well.
All right.
Yeah, you're fighting two of these guys at once.
Sounds good. This one I will probably strike to defend, but yeah. 6, 8, 10, 11. Got 2, 3, 4, 5.
You did it. Yeah, you're
6.
good. You're good.
Fighting off both these guys at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he-
for those of you, you might, some of you might be able to see this, and what you're seeing is Lamar. Like Lamar was quick. Lamar is just blurring with the swords. Yeah, and Lamar, this is something that I would note. I mean, you've seen your character sheet, but you yourself have not. Your character has not seen his own character sheet. You are moving faster than you have ever moved in your life.
He's having that inner like anime monologue. It's like, I can see it. I can see everything.
At which point, a little chibi Lamar's on your shoulder. You move like they do.
Just
I've never seen someone move that fast.
like,
All right, Ashlyn. Your target got run over by a truck.
Right. Has there been anybody else taking his place to give orders?
Hmm?
Has anybody taken his place to give orders?
No, the only two commanders, and you may not be able to specifically see them, are fighting. Are fighting Lamar. There is. Okay. By the way, I'm just going to show real quick if you can see it. Yeah. I highly recommend if you ever have to run a battle like this, look how easy it is to track all this mess. I just have, I just cross off the little circles as I go. Fights like this, I love Champions, played it a lot. Fights like this make me go, wow, I don't really miss mass combat in Champions because that's horrible. So one of them is one of the sky vehicles is moving, and the pilot seems to be yelling. You're not sure what. But you don't. And a lot of the troopers are so engaged that they don't seem to realize that they don't have any commanders.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then did she see Astrid and Eric? One of them was injured, or both are injured. Something, right?
Yeah, but they're on the other side of they're on the far end, on the other side of. Oh yeah. The other thing that you realize is one of the longhouses is burning.
Oh. Well, let's deal with that.
If you look at the map, the longhouse that lies between the smithy and the carpentry is on fire. And my impression is that Astrid, Eric, Brecca, Vereen, Lamar, and the two commanders are basically in the area where it says storeroom. So, not sure if you're standing on top of the longhouse on the top left. You can sort of see there's smoke and everything, and smoke and fire starting to come up as the top of the roof of the longhouse starts to ignite. As all that thatch that's it's not super dry, but it's not green, is starting to burn. Also, the blaster bolt probably penetrated a bit deeper where it's drier, and it's sort of burning on the inside. So that longhouse is starting to really ignite.
Okay. She's gonna slide down off the roof.
Okay.
And try and find somebody to help her put out the fire.
Sure.
Any adult that's not a combatant.
Yep. There's people. It's due to dramatic interest. There is enough confusion and people running around that you can find, and of course, yelling fire actually begins to bring people who were fleeing back because if they defeat the invaders and everything is lost to fire, they might as well have been defeated by the invaders. So you start getting a group of people coming with you, grabbing whatever they can to see what they can do to either put it out or rescue things from inside. So there you go. And you know what? I'm going to say take a resolve for being a firefighter.
Yay! And the gun is gone. Like she just left it, dropped the gun, it just poof, and we're putting out fires now.
Edgar.
Edgar's on the ground now, and he's super concerned about the citizens that are fighting. So he's approaching them from the other direction, and he's going to attack the the groups of people attacking the villagers.
All right. So
his construct. Go ahead.
You technically they're in groups of 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say because it's like a big. There's basically 2 lines.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's a bit mixed, but you could. I'm going to say that if you get more than 5 successes, I'll just keep going down. Whatever you do.
So Edgar's constructs, by the way, they're not green anymore. Now they're purple. So he's gonna get a giant ass sword and swing it across all of those, as many people as he can on the enemy side, because he's super concerned that the villagers are getting tased and is super worried. All right. So and one more because of buff, right? So I'm gonna make a construct roll.
Okay. All right.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
8 successes. I got actually 5, so you take out 3 people with a single swing.
All right. That's my action.
Okay. And you get basically the villagers are actually kind of gathered around you, and are now sort of heartened. A wonder worker is now in the battle right next to them, and swinging a sword of purple force. This is awesome. Okay. Astrid and Eric are going to basically keep going. Well, they see Edgar's example. By following Edgar's example, they're going to come running in and come charging over. It's going to basically, that's their move action, is to get from where they are. They don't get an attack, so they get all the way over to where they are with you, Edgar, and everybody else. So we go to Roland.
Awesome. Now I'm still on top of the. I'm gonna do a couple of things here with my powers.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do is do I have to roll if I copy flight? Actually, no, I can't copy flight. I don't know a quote for that. He doesn't have anything he can say. So for me to be able to get to the line of wait. Hold on. Can I see the 2 guys that are fighting? The 2 guys that are fighting Lamar.
Yes.
I'm still on top of it. Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of the fighting seems to be where the villagers are, right?
Yeah. One of the flying vehicles. It would be a little hard for you to see because it's behind a longhouse and it's starting to rise. In fact. Two of the flying vehicles aren't going anywhere. You slammed one into a commander. The other one's just sitting there. The 2 of the flying vehicles, because even though we're going by edge, everything is a little simultaneous. You see 2 of them starting to move, but the bulk of the battle is really at the crossroads, right smack in the center of the village. And then it's Lamar doing his best impersonation of the master swordsman from 13 Assassins against 2 other commanders.
Okay. Can I reach that fight?
Using what?
Well, if I run over and jump down from the building. I don't know how tall this building is, whether or not you could jump down safely.
Well, you can slide down it. I mean, realize they're kind of shaped like that. Are you gonna try to melee one of these dudes?
Yeah, well, Roland's gonna run up like run up to the fight, and like the one that is essentially been cut. He's gonna run up and he's gonna say, "The class is Pain 101. Your instructor is Casey Jones," and then he's gonna jab him with the staff.
You know, first of all, it's getting late. And second of all, I want to see that happen. So sure, I think you can run over there and take a swing at the guy.
Um,
Weirdly enough, the
And,
spell turns into a Ninja Turtle. Just kidding. Go ahead.
well, I believe I should be able to mimic strike, right?
Yeah, that would be, yeah, you're doing strike. So
Right.
what you're doing is and strike adds to your might.
Which my might is a 2.
So,
I
yeah,
don't
so
know
you're
if
going
the
to
staff
roll.
gives me anything for might since it's actually a staff.
Well, that's the effect. I mean, you're getting 8 dice. You're getting 7 dice of sorcery, 8 dice to the buff, 2 dice of might. You're rolling 10 dice.
All right, let's see what we get. I'm going to re-roll that because I only got 2.
Wait. What'd you get?
Got 2. 2 successes out of 10 dice.
That's enough. That's enough. Don't bother to reroll.
Okay.
I got 1, and the guy has 1 health. No, he's got 2 health left.
Okay.
So you can reroll if you want.
I want to take him out, so I'm going to re-roll.
Okay. I got 1, and I'm pretty much out of adversity.
I've only counted 2 dice so far, and I have 3. So,
All right. So you hit him with your staff and just clock him, and Commander Jambin just sort of goes stumbling and collapses into the dirt.
I hit him with a total of 7, though.
Yeah, you took him out pretty hard.
Yeah. Swings it like a golf club and just kind of hits him in the place where the sun don't shine.
Edgar, you have Astrid and Eric having joined you. If you wish, they can also fight these troopers with you.
Absolutely. Defend the villagers.
All right, so I'm going to actually say, why don't you, just to speed things up, why don't you roll 8 dice and somebody else roll 8 dice?
Hey,
I already did it.
oh, wow. These villagers are amazing. I got 10 successes.
10 successes.
Yeah.
I got
Gold, 2 silver.
6.
Did somebody else roll?
Yeah, I got
Dice.
6.
I'm sorry. I lied.
Actually, it's 9. Actually, it's 9 dice because they're buffed as well.
Right. I got 12 successes with that last die.
Okay, I got 6 successes.
All right. So because they're not wonder workers, they can only tackle a group. But I got 3 twice. So yeah, 3 minus 9. No, that's okay. So
These villagers are rolling better than we are sometimes. Definitely better than me.
I mean, it's working out for us in the end, though.
Yes, it is.
It's
amazing.
Iron. It is Iron Dome, dude, all the time.
I will note that to be fair, you can do things they can't, and
Oh no, I'm not complaining.
yeah, you guys also you guys get power ups. They don't. Yeah, that's ridiculous dice. So Roland.
Yep,
Wait, you just hit the guy.
I did.
Oh, I
This
got.
was... Oh, did you get it slightly out of order?
Yeah, I think I had you go, and then had Edgar. I got it back. So you already went.
You had the
They
movie.
went.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to roll. Oh my God, these guys are too stupid to flee. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to burn my last adversity. the two sky rafts, that's what they're called, basically lift up and accelerate out and away. That basically,
Still waiting two, right?
huh?
So there's two left then, correct?
There's two of these sky rafts left that aren't going anywhere because the pilots have been taken out.
Gotcha.
There's two of the two that they're empty too. Yeah, I on 5 dice. I got a 5. So the rank and file are too busy. And so they're still battling away. But the other two troopers, the two pilots are like, oh, this is ridiculous. They got crazy power wonder workers. The commanders are dropping left and right. We can't make any headway. This is not how this was supposed to go. We better get out of here, or nobody is gonna be able to carry word back. So the two rafts just take and they just blur at high speed and go off in 2 different directions and sort of disappear. And I spent an adversity to let them. I spent it for the nobody could have survived that shtick to let them get out of here. I did not get to do an act of villainy like blow a bunch of people up or something. That was another thought. So
The whole Han Solo.
I'm gonna say, you know what, Edgar, you're doing a really good job. Why don't you roll 3 dice for me, and I'm gonna roll 5.
I only got 2 successes.
Okay. All right, I'll let you know what that means in a moment. But some of the villagers have gone down a little bit harder than just being stunned. So the sky rafts are out. Blah 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 blah. So Lamar, you have 1 opponent left, and I think this is going to be the last round of Edge, because at this point, I think I'm not going to roll out every single trooper getting defeated. But let's everybody get that last highlight. Lamar, you are Roland just came up and slammed one of these commanders into the ground with his staff, quoting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe. And so it's you left against the other one, who's now looking a little like, wait a minute, this is not how this was supposed to work.
He's going to notice that, and he's actually he's going to sheath his sword, and then he is going to be like, believe me, I'm the good cop in the scenario, just hoping he has an allegory in whatever language he translates it into. And, like, I'm just imagining Roland just comes in out of nowhere, just like smashes this dude with the stick, and he's just like, hey, this is your chance. And he gives him a chance to surrender.
Okay. Freya, are you recovered from that vision? You're on mute. Or did I mute you?
No, I muted myself somewhere else, darn it.
Okay.
I thought I unmuted. No, she is still a little freaked out because she's, having visions, and she can apparently rewind time, and she's not dealing with this very well. So she is. There's only the one enemy left, right? Over by Lamar.
Yeah, there's. If you look over, you can see Lamar and Roland sort of flanking the last one of these commander types. And then over on the other side, the battle is sort of winding down. The Gator Troopers, which is the fan name that I've kept, are sort of beginning to realize that they're not winning. but their morale check was they're oblivious that they're not winning, so you're not sure. But you can see Edgar is flanked, has been protectively flanked by Astrid and Eric, and he's wielding this big purple force energy sword thing. So he looks like he has it in hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see that. Do I see Ashlyn?
No. She's
No.
vanished in behind some of the build. Oh, and yeah, the longhouse over by Lamar and Roland is burning.
Oh shit! Oh snap!
Knowing Ashlyn, that's probably where she went to try to put the fire out. So
Okay.
Freya is gonna get up and head in that direction, looking for Ashlyn.
All right. All right. So the Advanced Gator Trooper Commander. So I want to make something clear to everybody too. If you've read the rules, in order to have a enemy not act on their flaws, I have to spend an adversity. So I'm all out. So they're sort of locked in.
Okay.
But I gotta let me take a look at his flaws here. So what he does say is, and this is for convenience sake, this is Commander Munk, M-U-N-K. So Commander Munk looks at you and shakes his head, which I am not going to do because of my vertigo problems, but says, "I surrender to you? I think not." And looks around and realizes, like, two of his vehicles are gone. One of them's over there. One of them's over there. And what he does do, because he doesn't have like fight to the death as a flaw, starts to back away from the both of you with is in a defensive style, and says, "I will not." And then he says, "I will not surrender to you, but I will not be captured by you." And he starts to basically move away from all of you.
He's gonna like point. He's just gonna kind of like point, and then he's gonna be like, Ash.
Okay, Ashlyn, you lead your collection of villagers who have gathered their rakes and shovels and emblems of destruction, just try to stop the fire. And
Oh, yeah. I totally thought she was still in the trees with her rifle. Like, this is perfect though. Yeah, okay.
So you come running along to where the longhouse is burning, and Freya sort of joins up with you. And the objective is to try to drag the thatch and roof off where it's burning so it doesn't spread to the entire longhouse. Is that what you're doing? Okay. And Freya, you can. I'm going to say
Yep.
you can help out as well when you see this. Edgar, there's only a handful of troops left. Looks like 14. They are getting a little disoriented. They're not. This has never happened to them before. They've never lost. This doesn't seem right. So, what is your intent?
I'm not trying to kill them, but I am trying to drive them off. My intent is to protect the villagers. That's my intent.
Okay. All right. What do you want to do to drive them off? You could do a combat stun.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is that I'm gonna make like a bulldozer scoop kind of thing and try to shove them away.
Okay. Once again, it's simple because it's just their threat versus your power. This is really easy. So it's my dice versus your dice with the bonus for buff.
The buff. All right. Come on. Okay, good roll this time.
I got a really crappy one.
6, 7, 8, 9 successes.
So you beat me by 7.
Excellent.
Which basically goes off of the scale For simplicity's sake, you create this sort of dozer blade and push it forward, and you collect just a mob of these troopers who are stumbling and crashing over each other, and they sort of realize they're not winning. And it dawns on them, wait, half of our transport is gone. And at that point, because you got 7, they basically break, and you see them fleeing out toward one of the gates, which is basically if you look at the map, they're going toward the bottom of the pick drawing. They're just running past the chicken coops and the carpenter's shop, and just fleeing that way. So now Astrid and Eric are not going to chase. They sort of see what you've done, see they're fleeing, and there's enough bodies and defeats and everything around that they're going to hold up and try to keep everybody else from fleeing, because it's better to keep a defensive line here. So we go to Roland.
Okay, so that guy is fleeing, yes?
Well, unlike the troops who with that huge degree of success on Edgar's combat stunt are fleeing, this individual is sort of making a strategic withdrawal, which means he's just advancing in the other direction.
Awesome. I'm going to use the ensnare power. He's going to point his staff and go, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
All right. So that is going to be against his best active defense.
It rolls against their might or one of their active defenses.
Right. And his best active defense is his melee skill, which is really, really good.
Yeah, because essentially what he's trying to do is put him in like a jail cell, because he's using a Monopoly theme.
Okay. Yep. Oh, I actually got a pretty good roll.
I got 9 successes.
9?
I got 9. I got 3 zeros, a 1, and 4 2s.
All right. Well, actually, I got better than I thought. I got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you beat me by 2. So he is under a special effect, which is ensnare. So 2, and you divide the number of successes in half. So he is ensnared for a page.
Okay.
But he can't go anywhere.
That's the whole point.
And he's ensnared and he can try to break out on his next action, but he's at least ensnared until you go again, and you can always drop another ensnare on him. All right, Brecca is still getting Vareen out of there. Gator troopers are running away. Fearcat villagers, sky rafts are gone. Let's get out of Edge. So if you don't pursue, roughly 14 of these trooper types flee and start to scatter because they don't know where to go. They're completely lost. You don't see 2 of the sky ships. You realize they flew off. You're not sure if they're going to circle around and try to pick up survivors. You're not sure if they're just going to keep going. There is a burning longhouse, but I will state that Edgar with his constructs, Roland with his sorcery, and everybody else just pitching in can keep that from getting really, really out of hand. And Roland, to twist the knife, you have no idea you did this. It's like it's just one of these is burning. We don't know why.
Not my fault. He's the one who fired the shot.
Not my fault. Now, I will note that there are 5 casualties among the villagers, and these are not people who are stunned. These are people who are either hurt or dead. There are 5 of you I could be. What I may ask is, and it may be not tonight, but when we pick up, because we can still go for a little bit. But what I may ask is that next session you tell me, what happened to each either pick somebody you've met or just tell me what happened to somebody. And I'm doing this because I found that you guys can be way more cruel than me. Especially if you do this as a group and then the next player tries to one up the previous player. It gets ugly fast. And I'm just like, I didn't do it. But yeah,
you know what I'm going to do.
you have a lot of bruising and battering. You have people who apparently these are like a shock weapon that'll overload your nervous system and knock you out. So you have some people who are knocked out, but then you have some people who are severely injured or worse. You discover Brekka and Vareen. Brekka's got like this, like his shield is shattered and he's got like this big burn scar on his armor, but he's otherwise okay. He thought he was dead. He swears he was dead for a minute there, but then he wasn't. And Eric is wounded. He's also got like an energy bolt shot that hit him. And then there is Trooper. There's these, and you realize that these are these. They look very much like the scaled person that you saw at Ash Camp. They're all roughly about the same height. They're not carbon copies of each other, but certainly these troopers are all picked for a certain physical build and size. They're not all exactly 6 feet, but they're all pretty big-ish. And the closer you look, the ones who are not fighting a fire, the gear they have has a sheen to it or a look to it that, in fact, kind of reminds you of Stormtrooper armor. It has a weird plasticky look to it. And you can see a scattering of weapons that you do recognize. There's some of these long swords, there's some pistols, and there's some shorter knives and swords and such about. And then a lot of, in some cases, very dead troopers, and in other cases, just battered into unconsciousness.
So I have to ask, will we be able to capture the leader guy?
Yes.
Okay.
You can capture. Yeah, I'm not gonna. There's no point in forcing you to commit murder, and because battle's over, and I think plot-wise, sure, you can capture him. You have enough power to, and Ashlyn has only used one of her leadership, so she should certainly get some better re-rolls from some people, and so on. But yeah, you can capture him.
Freya would like to try to pull Ashlyn aside, away from everyone. Villagers, the rest of the group, everybody.
Okay.
Lamar is immediately claiming one of these sky rafts.
hey, I stole one of those fair and square.
There's two. That's what I'm saying. I'm in one. I'm in the other one. If you want the other one, that's fine.
Lord help us.
I'm trying to ride in the sky. You know what I'm saying?
Ashlyn,
All right. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go clockwise around my screen, and I'm gonna start with Freya, because you mentioned it first.
Okay.
So, sorry, Lamar, you're gonna be last, but you already said what you're doing, and we'll get to that in a moment. So it's a little bit later. People are picking up debris. There's people are collecting themselves. They're helping those who've been hurt or injured. You have managed to save most of the longhouse, but a lot of it's going to have to be re-roofed, and there's some internal damage, but it's nowhere near as bad as it could have been. If you had not done anything, the whole thing probably would have gone up. And you want to pull Ashlyn aside, and so you do.
I don't know that, and you can tell she's like upset and almost scared and worried because she can't stop her accent from coming out. So she's how do you know we can trust all these people? I think maybe they're putting something in our food or drink.
You mean like the townspeople?
Yes, I like hallucinogens or something in our drink because I'm seeing things and it's not normal and I don't know what's going on, but it has to be them. I don't think we
Honey,
should stay here.
I don't think that's what's happening. What are you seeing?
You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I swear I saw something happen and I made it stop. And then
Honey, I've been watching Roland cast magic using quotes from movies. I ain't gonna think you're crazy.
that's what I'm saying. I think we're all suffering from hallucinogens in our food and drink. That has to be it. Because I touched one of the dead people and I saw things, and that's not normal. And I think we need to leave. I don't think we're safe here.
So I think you're just finding what your powers are.
That's
I
not
know
possible.
you don't want to believe it, but everybody else has them. Well, those of us that came on the plane anyway.
They're after us. That's
That's what
who
it sounded like, yeah.
I saw it when I touched the guy. They wanted what got off the plane. I don't think they know exactly what they're looking for though. But that's what
Well,
I saw.
one did seem to latch on to Lamar pretty well, though he was being rather loud.
Yeah, but I mean, really, have you met anybody that doesn't want to kill Lamar when he meets him?
True.
So you really think this is... Come on now, really? Don't you think it's more logical that somebody is poisoning us?
Honey, I seen people with blue skin. There's lizard people. Giant people.
Right.
So why not just be able to see things? I can pull a rifle out of my bag.
That is a little weird. I can't explain that. That is a little weird.
For reference, how big is your bag again?
There's the reference bag coming in.
Like I'm sure, like is it like a tiny handbag or just like a medium?
No, that is like a travel bag. You see one of them old ladies going on a long shopping trip on her arm.
It's like an overnight bag.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just like imagine like a 338 or 30-06, just like hammer spacing out of them.
I think it's best to just go along with it for now. I don't think the townspeople here mean us any harm.
We're never gonna hear the end of it from Roland.
Just don't tell them.
I feel like if it's real, I feel like I need to tell because it affects all of us. But it sounds crazy.
Yeah. Will
At one
Bones a bit
point-
bloodthirsty for my liking.
At one point, Lamar was gonna got hit and went down and looked hurt, and I changed things so it didn't happen. And then those other two, one of them died, and I saw it in my head and I stopped it from happening.
Well, then that's all good things, ain't it?
Is it?
I think so.
Well, I'm not
Changing
telling.
things for the better.
That remains to be seen. I'm not telling Roland that I can do this, and I am not acknowledging that he is some magic wizard. Just so you know.
I know. Same old stubborn Freya.
Fine. I guess we should. If you're sure you don't think these people are drugging us,
I'm sure.
I guess we should help them then.
All right, Edgar. What actions are you up to?
Couple things. One is Edgar is feeling kind of guilty because he also heard them that they were hunting for us when they announced that at some point, and so there's kind of two things he's going to do. One is people were injured, so he'll help out for the people who are injured with his, that skill, the healing medicine skill that he has some of that science stuff. So he'll do that. He'll want to help patch up people, and he'll definitely want to check on the people that we know. So like Guthny and Dala and Vergirth, and see if they're okay. Right, wants to check and see if they're all right. The other thing is with the construct stuff, he can lift up to like 5 tons. So if there's stuff that needs to be moved or like stuff for construction, he'll help with that too. So basically, he's trying to help the villagers as much as he can because he feels kind of responsible for their.
We will find out about Vilgirth and Guthny and all them, I think, next session when you guys decide who the 5 really bad casualties are and what happened to them. They don't have to be dead, but some people may have been hurt and they just want to, and you can make somebody up. And I will make sure the NPC list is fully broken down on the Google Drive so you can check it out. But certainly helping triage and move and get those who have been battered around and bruised is a huge help. And then, of course, trying to get the burning roof off, well, you can basically use constructs to scoop up mass. And, of course, it's not going to hurt you because you're using force fields to pick up burning, smoldering, which gets everybody just absolutely amazed. They're sort of in awe of what they're seeing. And you're going to end up with all of you maybe. Lamar's already got his entourage. He's got Breck and Vereen now are just are going to try to follow him around a lot, but you're going to get the same thing. Just absolutely amazed villagers who are not so much want to wait in you hand and foot, but want to help you because you are doing amazing wonder worker things, and that's what they can think about doing. Ashlyn, you've been talking to Freya. Do you need any? Do you have is that pretty much your scene for right now?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, Roland.
All right.
I'm going to say you have captured this individual, Commander Monk, and what else? What else? Wow. What? I'm going to start
I
over.
want to ask him. Right. Well, the first thing Roland's going to do is going to make sure he's, he's got some guards on him. Roland's like, I'm a magic person now. Let me see what I can do for the casualties. We have some people that are hurt, maybe some people that are injured. And if I'm a spellcaster, I might be able to do some. Healing. So he's going to leave this guy to stew under some guards. The orders, of course, are not to kill him, but if they have to cripple him.
Basically, that's going to be Astrid. Actually, Astrid, Eric, Breck, and Vereen. Vereen's looking a little battered. He's not actually, like I said, doesn't have any health damage. He just looks battered. And Eric has taken a little bit of, a point of health, but he's otherwise pretty healthy. So the 4 of them are going to become your guards to Commander Monk.
All right. Roland is like going through his head, trying to figure out what he can do. Let's see.
I will say the seed is over, so the buff is worn off.
That's fine.
But we're doing plot powers right now, anyways.
Right. I know exactly what Roland's going to do.
Okay.
All right. 1 second. I am trying to see. All right, here we go. He's gonna walk up to like some of the wounded, like not necessarily the 5 major wounded, but some of the other ones. Unless, of course, you're gonna let me heal one of the major wounded. But he's gonna like walk up to him, and as he wanders around the group, I'm gonna mimic the healing power, which should let me heal up to 7 wounds for a single.
Yeah, 7.
Like for
7. You can heal up to 7 health in one today.
Right. So what he's gonna do is, he wanders around. He's gonna say, "I don't care what cynics may say. This is the Christmas season. It should be a time of healing." And he's just gonna wander around and touch people to heal their wounds. Right. Quoting Batman Returns. So, like, yeah, he's like gonna wander around and like he's gonna like heal wounds. If I can hit one of the major wounded, so that they don't die, but maybe have a major injury, okay with that.
That's a good heroic thing, sure. We can, we can figure out. Like I said, next week we'll figure out who got hurt, and if you want, you can make that your little sequence where, yeah, so and so was really badly hurt, but I saved them. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, because like he's like, I can do damage, but there's no reason I can't heal. And movie quotes, hooray!
Wait, now you need to quote Desperado. It's easier to destroy than create.
I'll have to take that one.
Lamar, so you see 2 of these sky vehicles there, and you said you wanted to claim one. So they're interesting. It's flat bottom, but it otherwise has like it's a squared off back, and then a tapering nose, and it has sort of slanting panels, and then some supports that hold up what looks to be the actual bridge up. That's where you get that sort of super yacht look, where you have this elevated bridge above the primary deck, and it's all this white, this sort of not super pristine, but it's a white plasticky material. It's not metal, it's not ceramic. It has a weird feel to it, and there's a ladder that gets you up there, and there's all these control surfaces. There's a corpse with a spear in its face that you can sort of push out of the way if you want, and there's there's obviously a set of control panels in front there.
Okay. And he's gonna kind of rub his temples and be like, well, the mark of an advanced civilization is how intuitive their technology is, right? All right. He remembers reading that or hearing that somewhere, and so he's gonna like, all right. He's gonna try to like randomly hit buttons and just hope none of them is like a laser beam, like photon torpedo. He's gonna try to figure it out. So he's gonna hit a random button. Boop.
So you it looks to be like a smooth glass plate. So you're kind of reminded of the next generation control screens, that sort of touch screen. So you reach out and you touch a screen and nothing happens.
Like from the ship, can I see where Brecca, Vereen, or the guards that are holding the prisoner is?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, Brecca, Vereen, can you escort the prisoner over here real quick?
They're going to look at Roland, and while you're walking around, and Roland, you hear, Wonder Worker Roland, Wonder Worker, and this is Breck and Vereen. Actually, Swordmaster is what Breck and Vereen say. Lamar wants this prisoner. You told us to keep him here.
Let me see what Roland wants. So he's gonna let me see what Lamar wants. So he's gonna wander over to what Lamar's doing after having expended the last of his healing. And he's wandering away. He's like, Well, I guess I'm done with that trick for the day.
So you get up there with where Lamar is, and you can see this what must be control surfaces, this sort of slight U where the pilot would stand, and there's some, you can see some light and some symbols and what looks like things that you can touch behind what looks like to be a sheet of glass. And right about then, in the center of the console, this very clear three-dimensional hologram appears, and you're looking at the head, not of a skink, but more of a definite serpent. That sort of long snout, the heavy jawline. Eyes are definitely facing forward, and you can see that there's a long neck, obvious, like the second, the long narrow drawing that I uploaded to the chat. And the surreal thing is you can hear a voice. There must be a speaker, but you can't make sense of what's being said. And the other thing that becomes very obvious is that this individual is just haranguing for a few moments, is going into a full-blown rant, and even with the pointing finger, and just stops.
Can I use my Omni power
and is looking at the two of you?
Can I use my Omni power to mimic languages now that I've heard it?
Sure.
So he's going to respond in the, "Hi, how you doing?"
I can only presume by your presence that our strike force has failed. Savor this victory while you can, mammal. Wow, that voice is hard to do. We, the masters of the world, will find you. Your freedom will not last long. Blink.
Well, that's fun. We need to,
Did I understand that?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, Roland,
this hologram was speaking some weird language. Roland looked at him, opened his mouth, and started uttering sounds that you don't think he could make. And then this hologram made more weird noises and then blinked out.
Cool.
So he's going to turn to Lamar and make those noises again. And he's like, holds his finger up. Sorry.
Ubi,
wait.
what
Correction. I'm sorry. Yes, you understood everything Roland said. You have no idea what was being said from the hologram.
Oh, so when he repeats it, then I understand exactly what he said, but only because Roland said it.
Exactly. When Roland speaks, you understand it. Whenever the thing was speaking through this communicator, you didn't understand it at all.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I'm like, he obviously doesn't he's never heard of America.
Yeah.
Because freedom, freedom's our thing.
Okay. All right. So we have a problem. We need to consult the others, and we need to do something because we can't stay here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
the problem is, I don't know if they can stay here anymore.
Okay, yeah. I was asking for the prisoner to come over here so he could tell us how to operate these things, and then we can air vac these people out of here.
No.
2 birds, 1 stone.
I don't know if they're
right. Actually, it's a perfect moment. Lamar says that, and the vehicle you're on goes boom, and apparently powers down.
They must have turned it off. Remote control. All right. I'll figure out how to turn it on. I apparently have the ability to control machines. Let's go talk to the others.
Fantastic.
And that is where we're going to break.
Alrighty.
That was amazing, guys.
That was a great one.
Well, I think I need to do some work. I'd have to play the Mission Impossible theme before that happened. Definitely, next session should be very interesting because, of course, the plot has massively thickened.
We'll put some more flour in that.
And but now you have a lot of questions, I think, and next session should be pretty interesting. And this, I will say, I think this triggers the greater plot. You have a number of little things going all at once, but now the meta plot has become active.
We know Lamar's just gonna want to settle down and become a farmer, right? So.
My goodness, I apologize. So I hope everybody had a good time.
Definitely a good time.
I will now. Let me note that next time. Now, this was your first milestone. You will milestone at another point and milestone again, and it'll be 25 points. Now, the one thing I want to make a mention of while you think about this, obviously won't be a while before you power up to the next level, which will be 10 dice and another 25 points. So you go 50, 75, 100. I can continue to build your characters for you, so it's more of a surprise, but I will also at this point be like, if you like, I really would like more health, I'd really like, more toughness, I'd really like more whatever, we'll make acknowledgments for that. In some cases, it's pretty easy. I just pour more, if I was going to power up Edgar next time, I'd be like, well, let's bring him up to 10 dice of constructs. Let's try to bring Roland up to 10 dice of and then the rest of that can go somewhere else. For Ashlyn and Freya, it's going to be questions like, well, where would you like to go with some of this, and where would you like to extend what you do? Also, it may be, although you guys roll well enough already, that the 0-point combat specialities may become useful. For example, Lamar is a dead ringer for Striker, which lets him explode. It gives him +1 die to his physical, to his melee attacks, and lets him explode 6s. Like, he really needs that. Roland may get Blaster, only because it lets him throw spells around like a real wizard, like a really, powerful wizard. Sorry, he's already a real wizard. But that, that's not super, it's not, I don't quite know yet. But now you guys can see, hey, you have like true blue powers and what to do with them. What do you guys think so far this session? I just wondering.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I think it was good.
It was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed being able to use the flexibility of my power. Having to research movie quotes to be able to make the powers work has been so much fun.
Well, one of the things I will recommend is that you may do a cheat sheet and just pre-build a bunch of powers, and actually you could even make a spell book and like put a movie quote in the power and all that kind of stuff. I've always thought you could have a good time doing that with rock songs too. Like, I am the god of hellfire and I bring you fire, and that would be blast.
Oh yeah, no. I was doing movie quotes first. I'm planning on like branching out to music. And YouTube videos, because it's got to be anything that's on visual media. So
be like the meme reciter, and then magic. Oh, dude, great.
With that, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodnight to everybody, and we're gonna go ahead and end the stream if that's okay with everybody, because it's getting late.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Good night.
Night.
And we are.